Welcome. I'm Ada Kay, your deaf courtroom commentator, breaking down the gripping courtroom drama, providing ASL interpretation when possible, while making justice accessible to everyone. Grab your favorite cup of Java and let's dive in.
Good morning, everybody. I thought it would be fun to do a little different music this morning because we got a little different live this morning. Today, we are going to start the Michael Proctor appellate issues. We're going to watch his trial, go over a little bit of his documentation. We're just going to do a brief summary of that. So welcome, everybody. Mr. Proctor is a piece of work. And we're going to get into that piece of work. For those of you who don't know, are new here, I'm Ada Kay. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to welcome Miss Erin first in chat and June Miss first in chat. Oh, thank you, June, for reminding me. I forgot to do the giveaway. And I got to do the giveaway. So if you are new here, what we do is if you like the chat, give me a thumbs up. You comment in all caps, I like. If you are new to the channel and you have subscribed, you can only do this once. You type in I sub. And also, if you share the channel, you type in I shared. And what that does is it gets you into the end of the day drawing. And then whoever wins that drawing gets put into the end of the month giveaway. Good morning, Christine and Kelly, Sue, Cockatoo, and on YouTube. Well, hello, love. Thank you for joining. Blessings, Miss K. Swan. Blessings. Thank you so much for joining this morning. I don't know why I have, I have a banner up that I shouldn't have up. Thank you so much. So one thing that is interesting is everybody's been hi, Amy Evans. I feel like we're kind of in a Karen Reed hangover. I do. And I had to take a breather. I mean, Karen Reed has been a little bit a hot topic for the last couple of years. So we took a breather. So now we are going to go in and we are going to look at at one of his charge documents, and then we're going to watch day one of the hearing. He's got another couple of days of hearings set up in October. I forgot to get my coffee. Here's my coffee. So we have he for some reason they're spreading it out. They had some hearings recently, and I need more coffee than that, boo. It only brewed me a half a cup. Give me a second, y'all. I can't handle that mess. Hopefully I don't overfill it. So anyway, so they have they've already had 2 hearings. They've taken a break, and then in October, I think it's because of witnesses availability, had another hearing in October. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can share this. I got to get it up, babe. Let me get over here. Okay, so we have a document. There we go. All right, so I'm not going to read this entire document. I'm just going to have it up here for you to see while I talk about this document. This document, I'm trying to get everything situated so I can see and read. All right, so this here is the Department of State Police Division Standards of Training Official Professional Integrity and Accountability Department. To Captain Bruce E. O'Rourke from Detective Lieutenant Kevin Dreyer, subject Trooper Michael Proctor. They have their badge numbers on there in the case. So it is dated July 29th of 2024. So this happened about the time of the trial number 1. This document is discussing that on March 4th, 2024, Lieutenant Dreyer was assigned to investigate Michael Trooper D. Proctor. The investigation requested by Lieutenant Colonel Brian D. Connors, Division of Investigative Services Commander. It was triggered by the information for the Norfolk District. Whoa! Did I overfill it? Oh, y'all. It's too hot to drink. Sorry about that. Ooh, that was scary. It was the investigation was started um, by the trial and some information that was received from the Norfolk District Attorney's Office. The concern was that Proctor participation in an ongoing investigation where Lieutenant Colonel Connors made a written request for the investigation, again on March 4th. Let me move that over here so I can see chat. Sorry, I have to get everything arranged. It moved on me. There we go. It moved. So in paragraph 2, the case is referred to the Commonwealth versus Reed. Karen Reed was charged and related to the unaliving of Boston police officers John O'Keefe. For those who don't know about this trial, the state police detective unit in the Norfolk County began an investigation January 29 of 22 after O'Keefe's body was found on the lawn in Canton. Trooper Parker was assigned to the Norfolk primary investigator, informed the state police that the U.S. Attorney's Office has noted them of a federal investigation involving Proctor. Trooper Proctor's personal cell phone contents were obtained in the investigation. Good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, I got a lot to say good morning to. I'll get you when I'm done reading this, y'all. Discovery Proctor sent a derogatory and defaming text messages about Karen Reed. The NCDAO did not provide written documents of these texts, notified them verbally, the department verbally. The department instructed that any member informed of these text messages should sign a non-disclosure agreement, and that was done. As a result, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, or the NCDAO disclosure department, launched its own personal investigation. Okay. So in paragraph 2, we have, that's the gist of all this. I'm not going to read all this documentation, but that's where the investigation was spurred. I can do a later dive on this document if you guys shall want. But right now, we are going to go into the actual, oh, that's not what I want to do. We are going to go into the hearing. We're going to listen. I need to explain something about this hearing. This hearing is, first and foremost, not a legal issue such as in criminal. This is a civil service appellate process. It is to determine whether the termination for Michael Proctor stands or reinstatement or lesser discipline applies. It is an administrative hearing, not a jury trial, overseen by the hearing officer, and evidence and witnesses are presented. The state police must show misconduct justifying the termination. If proven the misconduct, then Proctor's defense must argue termination was excessive compared to a similar case. So they need to sit there and say, hey, boo, over here they did something similar, and this was their punishment, and I'm getting, my punishment was, they got a warning or whatever when I'm getting dismissed. The arguments from the state police position is that Proctor's misconduct exceeded beyond offensive in that personal textings that he had done. The allegations say that he shared information details with unauthorized individual, possibly drinking and driving on duty, even if not a DUI, argued that the termination was appropriate and proportional. Proctor's defense position claims that the case was centered on a private text message. It was not on his business email or text phone. It was private. Argued that the Massachusetts State Police had no clear policy and personal cell phone. Note that other troopers disciplined for conduct of becoming were not terminated. The orders weren't fired for worse or lesser behaviors. The timeline of these text messages, Proctor reportedly unaware his texts were obtained until February 24 in the grand jury testimony for the Karen Reed trial. So he had no idea until that point. Defense and prosecution learned of those texts on his phone on March 24th of March 2024, shortly before the first trial. This caused a huge disruption on both sides, and they both requested a continuance, which was denied. So the civil hearings, his first session was August 26th and 27th of 2024. The state police presented their case. Upcoming sessions, October 24, Proctor defense will present witnesses and recover. It should be 25, I think. Discovery disputes. Defense claims that the state withheld needed evidence. Discovery battles beyond Reed's case. Proctor's text surfaced in multiple prosecution, Michael King's, Brian Walsh, and others. So when you have a case like Karen Reed and these texts pop up and it's a disciplinary issue, it creates a liability of the for the witness, and they become what's the word I'm looking for? They can use the disciplinary actions for that stem from Karen Reed's trial in other trials, claiming that he was not an appropriate witness. Federal prosecutors originally barred the disclosure under protective order, citing it created a conflict. The state prosecutors had an obligation to turn over potentially exculpatory evidence, but were redirected by the federal courts. They were restricted. They could not do so. Okay. The resolution, others modified, so Proctor's text can now be shared under seal in any case he worked on. He becomes a liability. The defense attorneys in the related cause will now receive these texts through files that remain under seal. So the broader fallout from the Karen Reed's case, number one, the trial costs. The second Reed trial, and by the way, I knew this was going to be a lot, but it wasn't as much as the first trial. The first trial, her case for the Karen Reed side was approximately $5 million. On the Karen Reed side, not on the prosecution side. It's crazy. The prosecution side for the second trial was, I think, 1.7 million. So, first time around, okay, so we don't know all that, but second time around, the cost was 1.4 to 1.7 million. The special prosecutor, Hank Brennan's, he charged $566,000, nearly $600,000 in experts from Aperture alone, $850,000 in testing expert witnesses, transcripts, and travel, etc. The cost exceeded the courthouse security, the cost excluded your courthouse security, paid staff, and overtime. The first trial cost for outside experts was $45,000, now $600,000. This raises the question about the taxpayers paying that much money for DUI and a suspension. That's what it boiled down to. This has now become the most expensive DUI case in history. So the impact on other cases, Trooper Proctor's involvement in other investigative affects the upcoming trials of other cases. Jury pools will need to be questions about their awareness of the Karen Reed trial. For example, the Brian Walsh trial, charged with the red room of his wife, is scheduled for late October of this year. So, what happens? If now they have that Trooper Proctor was accused of misconduct and entitlement to unfair hearing. So, basically, anything that Trooper Proctor has touched is now tainted. This can affect many current trials or even old trials. So, right now, we are in the process of due process. Even though the officer is accused of misconduct and was fired, he is also afforded the right to a fair hearing and on an appeal. The civil service may question whether Proctor's punishment matches how other troopers were treated. The ongoing discovery disputes show the systematic weakness of Massachusetts prosecutors. At the public cost, the retrials have cost taxpayer millions and millions of dollars. The extended fallout is that the Karen Reed case now impacts civil litigations and multiple unrelated criminal trials. That is a rundown of where we are when it comes to all of this. So I'm going to come back up to comments real quick because I want to say hello to you guys before we dive into the video. After getting fired for his conduct, I can't believe, well, I can, that he's got the audacity to sit there and say nothing about the way he conducted himself. Yes, it was horrible. Good morning, hello, it's Bridge. Good morning, K-Swan, Kristen, Kelly, Sue, Cockatoo, and are on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, Amy Evans, welcome aboard. Hello, hello. Thank you so much, Ryan. Good to see all of y'all. Hello, it's Britt. I feel like the defense is going to have a hard time arguing this wasn't just firing, but they bring up the drinking while having his squad car and equipment. Yeah. He did a lot of things. This isn't just about today's your. Oh my gosh! Are you kidding? Hello, it Brit. It really is your birthday, boo. Really is your birthday. All right, guys. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, beloved. Thank you so much for being a fabulous part of our channel. I love and bless you today on your birthday. May this year be filled with many blessings and happiness and health and wealth. We love you so much. Happy birthday, love. Oh no, I'm not near Austin. Thank you so much. I am going to look at that. Yes, but I have family there, so I'm going to go look. Give me a second, y'all. I am going to pop this up, guys, y'all. I have family there, so I am going to go ahead. Give me a minute. We will delay this for one moment. Thank you guys thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. I'm going to timestamp this.
Breaking news.
Apparently, we do have a shooter. For those of you who are in the Austin area, please be on guard.
There's an active shooter situation in the parking lot outside of that store. Austin police officials have just confirmed that 3 people were shot and killed. We know that 2 were pronounced dead there on scene, according to EMS officials. 1 was transported to an area hospital where they were later pronounced dead. A 4th person was injured in this. It's unclear if they were shot or not, but they, at least according to EMS, are expected to survive. They have a male suspect in custody, Austin officials say. They describe him as a 32-year-old man with what the chief of police, Lisa Davis, there says is a, quote, mental health history. One more thing here. Chief Lisa Davis, again, of the Austin Police Department, told prior to this media conference, our affiliate in Austin, KView, that one of the wounded individuals there does involve a child. A child is among the 3 wounded there, again, according to the Austin Chief of Police. There was a dramatic series of events after these shots rang out. Austin police described the shooting happening just in the parking lot of that Target store. They then say the male suspect hijacked a car, drove that car somewhat of a short distance away from the parking lot. That car then appeared to be disabled in some way. And then this individual, again, a 32-year-old male suspect, Austin police say, took another car from a Volkswagen dealership. One more thing of note here, police say they have no understanding right now of motive. It is unclear if this was a random act of violence or a targeted shooting. I do want to bring in now ABC.
Yes, okay. Will you do me a favor then, Kristen? Can you pop up the link? Because this is all that I found. This was... I'm sorry, you're right. Can you please pop up a link? Oh, there we go. I think I found it.
All right, as we begin the 9 a.m.
By the way, Kristen, I'm going to call you Kristen for short. I'm severely dyslexic and I sometimes get wrong videos. Okay, here we go. But still, that was bad a few weeks ago.
hour here on Daybreak Plus. I'm Brian Mays. We're continuing to follow that breaking news we've been bringing you all morning long. An Austin police officer was shot early this morning, just after 4 o'clock. The search for the shooter lasted more than 4 hours, but we're now told that Austin police does have someone in custody. We're expecting to learn more about that person and the circumstances surrounding this morning's activities coming up in just about an hour from now. But for now, let's go back live to the scene. Michael Courier has been there all morning long following this. Michael, we just reported that the shelter in place for that area around Zilker Park has now been lifted. What are things there looking like at the scene now?
That's absolutely correct, Brian. Good morning. Behind me is Zilker Park. You can see this is where the investigation is taking place. You can see police tape is up, and we can see a lot of law enforcement and investigators. They have been arriving. We have been still seeing a lot of police units making their way here behind me on Azzy Morton Road. Now, Austin Police, one person is in custody who is believed to be the in the shooting. Authorities say the alleged suspect is heading to the hospital and was not shot by law enforcement. Now, ahead of the shooting here at Zilker Park, officers were reportedly in the area when they noticed a vehicle that was potentially stolen. Law enforcement allegedly approached the scene when the suspect fired off a weapon. Now, according to the Austin Police Department, the officer was shot on Azzy Morton Road. One other person was also injured, according to law enforcement. So that means 2 shootings have taken place this morning in the area. Patrol officers from other parts of the city were called in to help find the shooter. Now, throughout this morning around Zilker Park, we have seen members of SWAT, police, K-9 unit, state troopers, and the fire department that were all supporting law enforcement. So you can see that the investigation is still taking place. There's still a lot of details that we aren't exactly clear at this time. Again, there is that press conference taking place at police headquarters. That's taking place about an hour from now, so that is where we're expecting to learn more information. So still here around Zilker Park remains very active. We're still seeing a lot of investigators and law enforcement remain around the area. For now, reporting from South Austin, Michael Courier, KB News.
Okay, so that was shown.
All right, as we begin the
Oh my gosh, y'all. I am so sorry. So we should be having. Here's the press conference. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. This has been a sad morning. It's been a difficult time for sure. I am happy to report that our officer is doing well. He is in stable condition. It is every chief's nightmare to hear that one of their officers has been shot. And I certainly got that feeling this morning when I learned of this. But he is not only a hero, he's very brave and he did an outstanding job. And I want to say again how thankful I am for him being okay. And again, he's in stable condition. So I want to talk about how this all occurred, the initial contact. Our officer, along with a few others, was doing a park curfew in Zilker Park. They came upon a car that was stolen, reported stolen. The officer at that point called for a tow to come to the park, and the other officers left the scene to go to other parts of the park to see if there were any other curfew violators in the park. At this time, the tow company arrived, and the officer was assisting with that, doing his paperwork, and saw 2 individuals start to exit from the lining of the trees. He saw them, gave them commands to come toward him. As he's giving those commands, the female was in front of the male. The male was behind, I would say, looking from the video, about 5 to 6 feet maybe. At that point, the officer, the male seems to be hiding something in his hands. The officer gives commands, show me your hands, let me see your hands. At that point, the male suspect brought up his gun, fired, and struck the female in the back of the head. At that point, he continued to fire, striking our officer. At that point, our officer was able to pull his weapon and return fire. The officer, at that point, we did not know whether the suspect had been struck by the officer's bullets as he ran into some brush, and we could not see from his body-worn camera. One of the officers that was working the detail came back and actually drove him to the hospital in his own car, while the other officer stayed with the female and called for EMS to come. Officers got to the hospital, and he was seen and rushed into surgery right away. And again, he's in stable condition. I think it's important to know too, at that point, immediately after that, we didn't have a suspect in custody. SWAT arrived, 5 K-9 officers arrived with their dogs. Air 1 was up. There was a huge hunt on for this suspect within that wood. And you think about the area and how large that area is. They did a fantastic job. At that point, a 911 suspicious call person came out from AISD Sergeant, basically seeing a suspicious person. Again, AISD, this is a school that's very close. They had a huge police presence at the school. One of the sergeants there, at that point, I think all the kids were brought into the school. The school had started, and they saw a suspicious person. He called it out, went to approach him, and he took off running. At that point, our officers came, started chasing the suspect. He then ran into the Barton Hills community and ran into a house. At that point, he was shot by the owner of that home. He is in stable condition. I believe he was shot in the arm and in the leg. When SWAT arrived, we put a shelter in place, and that was put warncentraltexas.org. And that shelter in place was in effect, I believe, for about 50 minutes. And then it was changed from shelter in place to avoid the area. Now, listen, I have serious concerns about why that happened myself. And I know there's questions about that, and I will get to the bottom of why that happened and ensure that there's processes in place to ensure that it does not happen again. So that never should have.
I want to rewind that and hear that again. I was worried about the glitching.
He then ran into the Barton Hills community and ran into a house. At that point, he was shot by the owner of that home. He is in stable condition. I believe he was shot in the arm and in the leg. When SWAT arrived, we put a shelter in place, and that was put warncentraltexas.org. And that shelter in place was in effect, I believe, for about 50 minutes. And then it was changed from shelter in place to avoid the area. Now, listen, I have serious concerns about why that happened myself. And I know there's questions about that, and I will get to the bottom of why that happened and ensure that there's processes in place to ensure that it does not happen again. So that never should have been changed. But I can tell you this, the homeowner who is here, I saw him on my way up the elevator, and he stopped me and he said, I want to tell you that shelter in place saved my life. It saved our family. Because of that, I prepared. And so I think it's important that when you look at what this is capable of doing, it does save lives. But again, why was it changed to a, avoid the area? And that's for cars. A shelter in place is there is something going, something active, and it gives people that mindset of let me prepare for this. But a avoid the area is simply heavy police presence, don't drive in this area. And so I am absolutely going to get to the bottom of why that occurred. And again, ensure that we have processes in place so it does not happen again. And again, I encourage our community to sign up for warncentraltexas.org. I think it has proven how effective that is. And I want everyone in this city to stay safe and sign up for that. I think that just proves how effective that is. I think I'll take a couple questions at this time.
What's the status of the female?
The female was shot. I believe she is still, I don't think we're going to have a positive outcome for her. It is not looking great for her, but she has not been pronounced.
I guess you're blocking out information.
How does that work? And talk a little bit about that mixed messaging too, because you have an alert that says clear the area, but we're still tweeting out that there's a shelter in place. Just talk a little bit.
Yeah, I will talk about it. And I think it's important to note too, this is preliminary information. In 72 hours by Friday, we'll have another press conference here and a briefing, and I will have more information on that. What I do know is that it was changed. I want to get to the bottom of why it was changed, how it was changed, how it happened. And again, there's processes in place to ensure that it does not happen again. So I am just as curious as you.
Chief Davis or maybe Chief Sneed, could either of you speak about the confusion?
Somebody's going to get in trouble.
Because I understand that maybe like parents were confused about that
Sure.
notification being changed.
Did you want to come?
Having their kids go to school.
Good morning. Wayne Sneed, Chief of Police with Austin ISD Police Department. Listen, these situations are very dynamic, right? They're constantly changing. They're constantly moving. Information is constantly changing. Information is constantly moving. And so what we try to do is ensure that the decisions that we're making when it comes to our standard response protocols, that's our secures, our lockdowns, holes, things along those lines, that we're using the most informed decision that we can to keep our community, our campus community, our staff, and our students safe. So we're deriving it based on information either we're receiving sometimes from the media, sometimes it may be from one of our partners, or it may be from one of our students on campus, or one of our parents. And so when we're doing this, obviously, we're trying to use the best judgment that we can under those circumstances.
And the Chiefs need, I just, the actions by that sergeant on that campus possibly kept kids safe from the suspect entering the school. What can you say about his actions and how he performed?
I go along with obviously him being able to recognize that I've got someone who matches the description and putting that information out, broadcasting it with our, as I say, our partners. We work very closely on a daily basis. Our schools do not live in silos. They're in communities, right? And so things happen in and around our communities. And so with our partnerships and the strong partnerships that we've had, he was able to get on the radio, communicate that information to the Austin Police Department, dispatch and officers. They were able to get there promptly, which probably saved other people's lives.
Can you tell us a little bit about the suspect? Do we know who he is, what his background is, that sort of thing?
That is something, Meredith, that we'll have on Friday for you. At this point, we still have families to notify. We have other things to do here on the investigation. But they were younger. They were both younger, male and female whites, born in the early 90s. So, dealing with some relatively young people. But you look at the whole totality of everything. It's a horrible situation. Again, I'm grateful that our officer's okay and that we have a homeowner who defended himself and defended his home. And there's nothing more to say there.
Last question. Can you tell us anything about the officer? How long has he been with the department?
We'll have that on Friday, but I believe he's been around 5 years. But just a fantastic job. And you'll see on Friday when we show the video, his body-worn camera, again, just very calmly coming on, talking about that he had been hit. And again, these are actions of a hero who did a fantastic job and just doing his work. I'm sorry?
Where was he?
Where is he?
I think we'll talk about that on Friday as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. I am a little disheartened. I have family and friends. There's several of us here from Texas, and several of us do have family and loved ones in that area. So I just want everybody to just make sure that that we I'm trying to do something here. Before I continue, I'm trying to do something. Hold on, I'm doing something. I am doing something I feel led to do, so y'all just be patient with me. To me, it's important, so I am creating something. There we go. I think that'll be okay. I have one thing I have learned to do with this is work on the fly. So, so let me save this one. Okay, guys, this is. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, what did I do? There it is. Thank you so much for letting me know that this had happened. I really appreciate that. It means the world to me. That y'all are willing to step up and let me know when something is happening. So again, thank you so very much for that. My heart goes out to the families right now, and my prayers go out to the families. of the victims, of the police officers the police officer that was shot. Thank you that he is alive and is doing as well as he can be under this situation. Wow. That's all I can say. So I put up a thin blue line, prayers for the Austin PD and the victims of today's shooting. So we'll just keep them in our thoughts and prayers today as we go on our day. Any new updates, anything that may come up, I will be notifying you at that time. Amy, yes, you may have come in. We had an officer that was shot. A female victim was unalived. And then we had the shooter go into a private home, and he was shot, still alive, by the homeowner. So there was a shooting in Austin. So I just did a short coverage on that. So we're now going to change our little wheelhouse a little bit. We are going to go back into Trooper Proctor, but we will keep everybody in thoughts and prayer, and we'll just stay kind of watching for updates as they come. When they come, I'll be happy to give y'all the information at the time. Oh, that was heavy. That was heavy. All right. So I will let you guys know that I am training several mods to work this program to assist me better. So if you see comments being posted and my hands are up here, no, I'm not magical. I have these little, I'm going to call them my little fairies who are helping me work the comments and questions and things like that. So from here on out, my little fairy for this morning can, if they're comfortable, go ahead and start popping up comments if you wish. I'm going to go ahead and start this hearing now. The thing is they speak really slow in this hearing. So I'm gonna up it to 1.5. If it is too fast, I'll slow it back down. But if I recall, it was like this.
Docketed as case number D1-25085. The appellant in this matter is Michael D. Proctor, Proctor.
You have the wheel, my love.
At this time, I ask that co-counsel for Mr. Proctor please stay seated and introduce yourselves and spell your names for the record.
Good morning, Madam Commissioner. Daniel Moynihan, Attorney Daniel Moynihan on behalf of Michael Proctor.
Thank you, Mr. Moynihan.
Good morning, Commissioner. Mark Russell, MARK-RUSSELL, on behalf of Michael Proctor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Russell. The respondent in this matter is the Massachusetts Department of State Police. At this time, I again ask that counsel for the department stay seated, introduce yourselves, and spell your names for the record.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Stephen Carley on behalf of the respondent, Massachusetts Department of State Police, STEPHENCARLEY.
Who is with you today, Mr. Carley?
This is my associate, Pamela Rottenberg.
Can you spell your last name for the record?
It's RAUTENBERG.
Thank you, Ms. Rottenberg. Thank you, Mr. Carley.
Madam Commissioner, may I also introduce my associate,
Yes.
Zachary Green,
Thank
from our
you.
office.
And spell your last name, Mr. Green?
GREN.
Thank you very much, Mr. Green. This appeal was filed by the appellant pursuant to the provisions.
No, one thing that, Kristen, one thing I tell people in this live, anywhere in the world that is a major thing going on, and I may not see it because I'm busy here, please let me know when we have breaking news. I have no problem sharing that at all. And I have no problem breaking into my stream for breaking news because it may not be important or it may not affect me personally, but it may affect one of my viewers. So whether events like this, anything breaking news, airplane crashes, we do stop and do breaking news input. So you were more than welcome to do that. Do not apologize. Thank you so very much for that.
Of Section 13 of Chapter 22C, which applies to the state police disciplinary matters, and Sections 41 through 45 of Chapter 31, known as the Civil Service Law. The appellant is contesting the department's decision to terminate his employment as a state trooper. Under the applicable law, the burden is on the Department of State Police to show, by a preponderance of the evidence, that the appellant engaged in misconduct that warrants discipline. If the state police meets that burden, then the burden shifts to the appellant to show why termination, as opposed to a lesser penalty, was not the appropriate level of discipline. This hearing is conducted in accordance with the standard adjudicatory rules of practice and procedure, 801 CMR, formal rules, with provisions of Chapter 31 taking precedence over any conflicting rules. Excuse me. Disciplinary matters, and sections 41 through 45 of Chapter 31, known as the Civil Service Law. The appellant is contesting the department's decision to terminate his employment as a state trooper. Under the applicable law, the burden is on the Department of State Police to show by a preponderance of the evidence that the appellant engaged in misconduct that warrants discipline. If the state police meets that burden, then the burden shifts to the appellant to show why termination, as opposed to a lesser penalty, was not the appropriate level of discipline. This hearing is conducted in accordance with the standard adjudicatory rules of practice and procedure, 801 CMR 1.01, formal rules, with provisions of Chapter 31 taking precedence over any conflicting rules. To ensure clarity, this is not a jury trial. This is an administrative hearing being conducted by a hearing officer. As such, it is my responsibility to make rulings on the admissibility of evidence and then determine what weight, if any, that evidence deserves, and to make credibility assessments as necessary regarding the witnesses that appear before me. Pursuant to Section 43 of Chapter 31, the Commission has deemed this a public hearing while reserving the right to close portions of the hearing if warranted. Members of the public are present in the courtroom today, as well as an adjacent overflow room where the hearing can be viewed live. The media has been permitted to set up a pool camera for audio, video, broadcasting, and recording. Prior to the hearing, the media and public have been provided with a summary of hearing room protocols that must be adhered to at all times. This hearing is also being audio and video recorded by the Commission via the WebEx platform. A court reporter is also present to transcribe the hearings, and that transcription will be the official record of this hearing. At the conclusion of this proceeding later this year, the parties will be given the opportunity to submit post-hearing briefs, at which time the record will close. Any final decision issued by the Commission regarding this appeal will be sent to the parties via email only. The Commission's decision will also be published on the Commission's public website at mass.gov/CSC. All final adjudicatory decisions of the Commission are subject to judicial appeal under Chapter 30A of the General Laws. Before we begin, a few housekeeping matters. First, in a final ruling sent to the parties yesterday, and after considering the objections of both parties, I have entered into evidence 36 exhibits from the Department of State Police and 58 exhibits from the appellant. As those exhibits have already been entered into evidence, there is no need to request that they be entered prior to referencing them at today's hearing. Second, I accepted the department's participant list, indicating that the department at this time has only one witness, and we will hear from him shortly. The department has committed to completing direct examination of this witness today. It is the Commission's expectation that the appellant will complete cross-examination tomorrow, with the option of recalling this witness in October if necessary. I urge counsel for both parties to use your time wisely and make adjustments accordingly as the day goes on to ensure conformance with these time allocations. Third, I hereby order the sequestration of witnesses. Any individual who is a potential witness in this matter may not attend or view any part of this proceeding until the conclusion of their testimony. Fourth, counsel for both parties have been allotted 15 minutes for opening statements. Since the audio is being captured by the table microphones, I'm asking counsel as well as witnesses to please stay seated while speaking, to speak loudly and clearly, and avoid any crosstalk. Please allow questions to be completed before objecting. At this time, I ask that counsel for the Department of State Police proceed with an opening statement to be followed by an opening statement by counsel for the appellant. I would ask Mr. Quinnen to please keep the time.
Commissioner McConnell, may I just make a statement for the record regarding procedure?
Is this something separate from the motions that I allowed yesterday?
No, yes, it is. Yes,
Can this wait until after openings?
it can. It concerns the sequestration order.
If anyone is going to testify, or you think they will, they should be in this room.
No, the difficulty is the fact that we're here at the request of the commission to start this process today, despite the fact that we're awaiting discovery from the department, as you know. And we don't know who all our witnesses.
Yes, if I'm speaking, don't speak.
Sorry.
That's quite simple. First of all, decorum. If you have anyone who is a potential witness, they should not be in this room. That's all I can say.
And because we don't have a discovery, we don't know at this point who all of our witnesses are.
I can't advise you how to conduct your case.
Sorry.
I can't advise you how to conduct your case. Mr. Carley, can you please proceed?
Thank you, Commissioner McConnell.
Okay, that was very unusual. I actually kind of want to giggle on this. These are lawyers. They know how this works. Why is she having to say to you, I shouldn't tell you how to run your case? I mean, this is fundamental basic lawyering. Why would you have to be told that your witnesses cannot be in here, whether they're potential or for sure? If there is a potential witness sitting in that room, once this starts and they hear anything, they can't be a witness. They know this. Lawyering 101. Come on now, y'all. Come on now. This
Attorney Quinnen. Distasteful. Unprofessional. Inappropriate.
By the way, I'm glad we had some time to kill because there's going to be some explicit words that are going to fly. So if you have young ears, you guys need to get them out of the room. Hopefully I spelt that right. Give me a second. I'm going to put up a banner because I want to make sure that everybody knows what's going to happen here, because yeah, it's going to get explicit real quick, y'all.
In poor taste. Juvenile. Sexist. Disgusting. Dehumanizing. This selection of words does not come from a public comment section on a website, an op-ed columnist, or a protester outside the Norfolk County Courthouse. No, indeed, one would be forgiven for not immediately recognizing that these words are Michael Proctor's accounting of his own conduct in this case. Conduct in which Michael Proctor, tasked with the immense responsibility of acting as case officer for the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe, consumed alcohol and then operated his cruiser while on duty, released confidential information to individuals outside of law enforcement, and called suspect and eventual defendant Karen Reed a babe, a nutbag, retarded, a whack job. She's got a leaky balloon knot, leaks poo, a woman who shits herself with no ass. She's fucked. A cunt.
There goes my monetization. Thank you very much.
As a result, the department brought forward 4 separate specifications within 2 types of charges for internal discipline. And in March, Colonel Noble terminated Michael Proctor's employment. In support of the just cause for doing so, beginning today, the department presents for your consideration its evidence of the appellant's guilt under the charges and specifications described as follows. Charge 1, Specification 1, unsatisfactory performance, sending derogatory, defamatory, disparaging, and inappropriate text messages about a suspect. Charge 1, Specification 2, unsatisfactory performance, provision of sensitive and confidential information about a homicide victim, potential witnesses, and potential investigative steps to non-law enforcement personnel. Charge 1, Specification 3, unsatisfactory performance. Through unprofessional and inappropriate conduct, created an image that he was biased and brought himself and Massachusetts State Police into disrepute. And finally, Charge 2, Specification 1, consumption of alcoholic beverages while eating dinner on duty and then operating his department-issued cruiser. The department's defense of the just cause of the adverse employment action against Michael Proctor will be based entirely upon the evidence of his conduct, his violations of those specifications under our Article 5. To prove this case here in this de novo proceeding, the department will call OPIA Detective Lieutenant Kevin Dwyer, who was assigned an investigation initiated by DIS Commander Lieutenant Colonel Brian Connors. In addition to the testimony of Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, the department has submitted and has been entered into evidence for your review and consideration of those 36 exhibits, demonstrating by a preponderance of the evidence that Colonel Noble had just caused to terminate Michael Proctor's employment. You will hear of Detective Lieutenant Dwyer's collection and assessment of the records of the appellant's misconduct, first brought to light in excruciating detail during 2 days of his public testimony at the homicide trial in Norfolk Superior Court on June 10th and 12th of 2024. You will have the opportunity to hear the appellant read in his own voice his vile, misogynistic statements against the woman accused of and tried for the death of Officer O'Keefe. You'll have the opportunity to hear his revelations to high school friends and members of his family of the identity of the victim, his views on and details of the crime, the manner of the victim's death, the witnesses to be interviewed, and the direction of that investigation, some made under 24 hours of the discovery of Officer O'Keefe's body. You will hear his own characterizations of his conduct that I quoted to you before. And you will hear his admissions under Charge 2 that while he was on duty, he consumed 1 to 2 beers with an officer from Canton Police and then drove the 2 of them home. You will be given, in addition to the video recordings of that public testimony,
1 or 2 beers, my ass. Why is it that when a police officer is trained, when they pull someone over for a DUI and they say 1 or 2 beers, that's a blanket answer that everybody gives. They could have had 10 beers. They could have had 5 beers. They could have only had 1 or 2 beers. You cannot accept 1 or 2 beers as a legit answer. I mean, really. So why should we accept it with Trooper Proctor? We know darn well he had more than that. He went to 2 bars. Really? I'm not believing it. Not at all.
transcripts of the appellant's own words for your review and reference, a summary of Detective Lieutenant Dwyer of his misconduct, of Michael Proctor's misconduct as revealed during the trial, pay station, administrative duty roster, and AVL data collected by Detective Lieutenant Dwyer corroborating the appellant's account of his alcohol consumption while on duty, the statements and admissions by the appellant at his OPIA interview, and Detective Lieutenant Dwyer's conclusions therefrom, as well as the criminal trial exhibits themselves containing the appellant's messages. You will also have available for your consideration the findings and resulting recommendation of the department's internal trial board, as well as the limited selection of public reaction to the revelations of the appellant's behavior. Relevant portions of an interview he gave to ABC News following his termination, and an order from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office for him to turn over as discoverable statements in a criminal prosecution under Rule 14, the content of his communications from his personal cell phone. The department expects that much by way of distraction will also be on offer in the days to come, in the form of dubious and flimsy comparisons, whataboutisms reflecting the choices of others, spurious emotional appeals to the absolutely real difficulties experienced by members assigned to a homicide investigation, and insinuations that written statements by a case officer regarding his own investigation are somehow private or out of bounds. In short, the department expects an appeal not based on the truth, but on evading accountability. The department respectfully asks that this commission, while receiving those distractions or attempts at same, keep in mind the evidence and the facts that are the basis for the department's case. It respectfully asks you to bear in mind that no one committed the acts for which he was terminated other than Michael Proctor alone. No one authorized his communications of sensitive and confidential case information about an active homicide investigation to others outside of law enforcement. No one forced or cajoled or even requested him to engage in such gratuitous behavior, and that Michael Proctor himself has admitted, as evidently he must, that his conduct was unprofessional, inappropriate, juvenile, sexist, disgusting, and dehumanizing, and that he has admitted that he in fact committed the acts exactly as described in the charges brought against him. Accordingly, at the conclusion of this hearing, the department expects to meet its burden, showing just cause, and will therefore ask this commission to uphold the termination of Michael Proctor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, Commissioner McCarthy, Mr. Queen. We're here today to hear evidence presented by the Department of State Police, which it believes amounts to just cause for the termination of Michael Proctor. Due to the fact that we continue to await discovery from the department, you will not hear a presentation of evidence by Michael Proctor today or tomorrow. You won't hear about his presentation of our evidence until October. Nevertheless, we will, through cross-examination, get to the truth behind this case. And the truth is that as of February 1st, 2024, Michael Proctor was an exemplary member of the Mass State Police. He had served in that capacity for 12 solid years.
Okay, I'm going to sit here and call possible BS. Just because he wasn't caught, just because he was never reprimanded, did not mean he was exemplary. I can't say that word, exemplary. He was he got caught here. And it was made evident in the Karen Reed trial that this was not the first time he had texted like this to the people in the group. This was a group text. People were some of the people in the group text were not even employees of the police department, but it was a friends group text. Some of them were. He just got caught this time. So being an exemplary employee, that is your perspective. Just because he didn't get caught doesn't mean he was a perfect employee. Just saying.
Without any discipline. He had risen to the level of the rank of detective for the Norfolk County DA's office as a young trooper and served in the role as detective and was a very well-respected member of that unit. As of January 29th of 22, Michael Proctor, a fairly new detective in the DA's office, was asked to become the case officer on the Karen Reed case. You will hear what his duties were as case officer, and you will hear all that he was not responsible for as case officer in this case. Now, as we all know, Karen Reed was arrested, she was indicted by a grand jury, and she was tried twice by the Norfolk County DA's office from 2022 through 2024. In the early part of late 2023 or early 24, the defense in the Karen Reed case convinced the U.S. Attorney's Office to open an investigation into a theory of a grand conspiracy against Ms. Reed on the part of law enforcement and others. You will hear that Michael Proctor was asked to testify in the federal grand jury proceeding as a witness only on February 1st, 2024. And when he appeared, he was shocked to discover that the U.S. Attorney had somehow infiltrated his personal cell phone and surreptitiously obtained personal text messages on his personal cell phone. Now, we all have personal cell phones. We all have expectations of privacy on those personal cell phones. On February 1st of 24, Michael Proctor suddenly found in his mind that his privacy was violated. Since the disclosure of these text messages, the world has changed. Law enforcement officers and people in all walks of life now shudder at the thought that a federal agency could infiltrate their personal phone and look at text messages, personal text messages on a personal phone to family members and friends. Michael Proctor has reacted to this unlike many other people would. Michael Proctor has never denied the authenticity of these text messages. He's never denied that they are inappropriate, unprofessional, derogatory, sexist, misogynistic, despite the fact that he's never, to this day, received the full text threads numbering hundreds of thousands of dollars that the U.S. Attorney's Office obtained. And despite the fact that he still doesn't know why his personal cell phone was infiltrated. Michael has repeatedly apologized for making crude remarks, unprofessional remarks, juvenile remarks. We could come up with many other adjectives that Michael has admitted to. He has never backed away from apologizing for these outright unprofessional and I'll call them stupid text messages on his personal cell phone spoken to his buddies from childhood. Instead of backing away, what did Michael Proctor do? Well, the next day, he self-reported this information to his bosses at the Mass State Police. He reported the full context of these text messages to the Mass State Police, despite the fact that there's no existing Mass State policy concerning a trooper's personal text messages or personal private conversations on a personal cell phone. He reported it immediately. From that point, you'll hear evidence of what happened next and what didn't happen next in the ensuing 5 months and up till March of 25 when Michael was terminated by the department. You will hear of a meeting which was initiated by Michael and his then counsel on February 8th of 24, wherein the content of these text messages was disclosed to the legal staff of the Mass State Police, as well as high-ranking members of the Mass State Police. You will hear that the Mass State Police assured Michael Proctor that not much would come of this, and that he may receive a letter of counseling as a result, or a written reprimand, and that the colonel and the command staff expressed appreciation for him immediately reporting these text messages to them. You'll hear of a separate investigation done by the department in April of 24, wherein the nature of Michael's relationships, alleged relationships with witnesses was investigated, and the issue of bias was investigated, and their findings were negative. You will hear that Michael Proctor remained on full duty from February 2nd, when he first disclosed, until July 1st, which is coincidentally the date of the Karen Reed mistrial. You'll hear that after that mistrial, that unfortunate date for Mike Proctor, July 1st of 24, the witch hunt for Michael Proctor began. He was relieved of duty within hours after that mistrial. You'll hear a press release from the colonel at the time who stated, quote, "Upon learning today's result, Michael Proctor was relieved of duty." You'll hear of intense political scrutiny, intense media pressure to fire Michael Proctor. You'll hear that this termination was not based on actual facts and evidence. Instead, it was a decision made to appease politicians and to appease some vocal members of the public and the media. You'll hear of the so-called internal trial board process of the Mass State Police and how flawed that process is and how unfair it is and lacking in due process. You'll hear that despite the flawed process of that internal trial board, this decision to fire Mike Proctor was made on July 1st of 24, within hours after that mistrial. Most important, you'll hear evidence from the trial board in this hearing that Michael Proctor's personal feelings did not influence the evidence in the Reed case. Michael Proctor did not act with the intent to affect the outcome of this investigation. You'll hear that there's no evidence to show that the integrity of the investigation in the Reed case was compromised. In other words, the personal cell phone text did not affect his performance of his police duties. And that the Mass State Police investigation into Michael was solely about personal cell phone messages and not about his job performance in the investigation. And that the charge of unsatisfactory performance of his duties is a misplaced charge. It's a charge that was designed as a Class A offense simply to appease the masses and fire Mike Proctor. In summary, Mike Proctor was a very good trooper, an exemplary trooper, a detective who has been made to be a scapegoat as a result of the Mass State Police caving in to public pressure. Michael Proctor did not commit a crime. Michael Proctor did not violate any specific policy prohibiting personal conduct on a personal phone because there is no specific policy. Those are two very important facts to remember in this case. Does his unprofessional conduct on his personal phone possibly warrant some discipline? Probably. Unbecoming conduct, possibly. In October, we will demonstrate, when we have our discovery, that the termination of Mike Proctor, the firing of Michael Proctor after 12 exemplary years, does not comport with previous standards of discipline for the Mass State Police, and that is disproportionate with discipline meted out by the state police over the years. Michael Proctor should not be subject to the whims of politics or the whims of the media. He should obtain a fair hearing on the merits, and we expect to obtain that fair hearing through this process. No one should be unjustifiably pushed aside from his job simply because an organization wants to satisfy an agenda. And that's what happened here, folks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Biden. I wanted to issue a supplementary ruling on your earlier request about the sequestration order. I understand it's a long time from now to October 21st. I would be asking each witness in October if they have previously observed any part of this proceeding. If their answer in the affirmative, reserve the right to take that into account in my fact finding. Also, any individual, however, who anticipates being called as a witness should not be watching today's proceedings.
Yeah.
Yes.
My only concern, Commissioner McCartney, is that many of the witnesses on our pre-hearing list are not under our control. They're state police employees, number one. So we don't have authority to tell them not to watch this proceeding. Number two, after we obtain discovery in mid-September, we may have additional witnesses who we just don't know about yet.
All right, he said, as I just stated, I will ask each person before they testify. All right.
Thank you.
And again, I'll take that into account.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So at this time, Mr. Carlin, will you call your first witness?
Thank you, Commissioner. The respondent calls Kevin Dwyer.
Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give to the Civil Service Commission is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Thank you. I would just like to impart some information to you. First of all, that your testimony is being recorded, and both parties receive a copy of the recorded testimony. Your testimony included the decision issued by the Civil Service Commission in this matter, which will be posted on the Commission's website. I may make credibility assessments for your testimony, which may also be included in the Commission decision. Please listen to the questions carefully and answer only the questions that are asked of you. If you cannot hear the question, you may ask for it repeated. If you don't know the answer to a question, you should state that. It is important not to guess or speculate. Speak slowly, clearly, and loud enough so that your testimony can be captured on the recording. Please avoid any crosstalk by waiting for the question to be asked before you answer. And if there are any objections, please wait for my ruling before answering the question. And again, if you turn your body away, you'll miss the recording, so please face forward and speak into the microphone 12 times. Thank you very much. Mr. Carlin?
Thank you again, Commissioner. Good morning, sir. Good morning. In a loud, clear voice, could you please state your full name and spell your last?
Detective Lieutenant Kevin Dwyer, D-W-Y-E-R.
You're employed by the department?
I am.
How long have you worked with the state police, sir?
Over 20 years.
And what is your, well, you mentioned your rank. What is your current assignment, sir?
I'm assigned to the Office of Professional Integrity and Accountability.
And could you please briefly describe to the commission your duties and responsibilities in your current assignment?
My current responsibilities are as an internal affairs investigator.
All right. And do you have training and experience specifically with respect to OPIA investigations?
I do.
Can you summarize any training or experience you have in that regard?
Yes, I've attended multiple trainings on internal affairs investigations, plus my experience in the unit for almost 5 years.
I'd like to draw your attention, sir, to the time frame of March of 2024. Did you have occasion to receive an order to open an investigation into alleged misconduct by Michael Proctor?
I did.
What specifically was your role in that investigation, sir?
As the primary investigator.
All right. And how did you specifically come to be assigned to that particular investigation?
I was summoned to a meeting where I was told the allegations.
And coming out of that meeting, was the investigation into, or the investigation that you ultimately conducted, was it assigned a number by the Office of Professional Integrity?
Yes, it was.
What was the number, sir?
It was IAS 2024-0014.
And how was it formally initiated? How was the investigation formally brought into existence?
There was a request for investigation that was authored by Lieutenant Colonel Connors.
All right, sir. And if you could turn in your binder, please, to Respondent's Exhibit 1. Have a look at Exhibit 1, please. Is Exhibit 1, as before you, sir, is that the personnel investigation or the order to initiate the personnel investigation from Lieutenant Colonel Connors that you just referenced?
It is.
All right. And did you ultimately have occasion to organize, author, and submit a report and several exhibits documenting your findings in this investigation?
I did.
And as part of those exhibits, did you include a copy of Lieutenant Colonel Connor's request for investigation dated March 4th as your Exhibit 1 to your report?
I did.
Now, following up on Exhibit 1, in the body of the document, Lieutenant Colonel Connors references a criminal investigation. Is that correct, sir?
He did.
Would that be the criminal homicide prosecution of Karen Reed into the death of Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe?
Yes, it was.
Fair to say that Officer O'Keefe's body was located on January 29th, 2022 at a residence in Canton?
Yes.
And as specified by the general laws, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, and specifically the department members who assigned there, they're assigned to lead that investigation?
Yes, they are.
And the case officer for that particular investigation was Michael Proctor. Is that not so?
Yes, sir.
Now, at a certain point during that investigation and prosecution, did some information come to light about a related federal proceeding?
Yes, it did.
How did you describe that in your report, sir?
The department was notified by the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office that they were advised by the U.S. Attorney's Office that there was a federal invest that involved Trooper Proctor.
Okay. And how did the notification that came to the department that you just described, the notification from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, how did that notification take place?
It was a verbal notification.
All right. And at the time the verbal notification was made, was there any documentation provided by either Norfolk County or by the U.S. Attorney's Office regarding that investigation?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay. And did Norfolk County provide any other details about that federal investigation at that time, sir?
None that I'm aware of.
All right. At some point, was it disclosed that Michael Proctor had his personal cell phone examined and that there were text messages of a derogatory and defamatory nature about Ms. Reed on that cell phone found?
Yes.
What, if any, effort did the department make around that time to learn more about those text messages?
To my understanding, there were multiple conversations amongst the department and the federal authorities to get more information. I don't believe they were very successful.
All right. And that was a decision made, as far as you're aware, by the federal authorities?
Correct.
Did the federal authorities place any conditions on the department with regard to this investigation?
Yes.
What conditions, sir?
Anyone that was advised of the existence of the text messages had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
As far as you're aware, were there any exceptions to that requirement to sign the non-disclosure agreement set by the federal authorities?
No.
What, if any, official actions did the department take with respect to Michael Proctor as a result of verbal notification from Norfolk County?
Personal invest was started.
In effect, the oral or verbal disclosure from Norfolk County is what triggered the request for investigation.
It is.
Is
Yes.
that accurate, sir?
Yes.
As part of the standard practice and required by department procedure and the collective bargaining agreement, was a subject notification letter issued to Michael Proctor?
Yes, it was.
Who first issued that and when, sir?
Detective Lieutenant John Goslin on March 4th. It was Detective Lieutenant John Goslin, and that was sent on March.
Sorry, I have to do this. Diane, disclosure. I'm pulling a brain cramp. Sign. Information give. Okay.
March 4th, 2024.
Was Lieutenant Colonel Connor's request for investigation attached to that subject notification letter?
It was.
And initially, among other copy recipients, was that notification also sent to Trooper David Stewart as the spam representative?
Yes.
And did you ultimately attach a copy of that notification dated March 4th to your report in this case?
I did.
And did you attach it as Exhibit 2 to your report?
Yes.
Could you turn to Exhibit 2 for the respondent's exhibits in this proceeding? Right, sir. Do you have Exhibit 2 in front of you?
I do.
Is this the Exhibit 2, the same Exhibit 2 that you attached to your report?
Yes.
The subject notification letter and the request for investigation or request to initiate an investigation that you made your Exhibit 2?
Yes.
And Detective Lieutenant, was there a typographical or stenographic error in that exhibit when it was first issued?
Yes, there was.
What was the error, sir?
It incorrectly named who wrote the request for invest.
And did the department issue an amended notification letter?
Yes,
What was the date of the amended notification?
March 19th, 2024.
And did you ultimately attach that as Exhibit 3 to your report?
I did.
Did you turn to Exhibit 3 for today's proceedings? Do you recognize Exhibit 3, sir?
Yes,
And is that the same Exhibit 3 that you attached to your report in this case?
it is.
All right, sir. This amended notification, it correctly identified the author of the request for the investigation as Lieutenant Colonel Connors?
Yes, sir.
And was it
Why am I struggling with notification? Information. I'm giving warning. I got to get.
provided to, this particular one, provided to, among others, Michael Proctor, spam representative, Sergeant Christopher Johnson?
Yes.
Now, sir, in addition to the information provided from Norfolk County about these alleged improper text messages from Michael Proctor, were there also additional concerns raised with respect to him and witnesses in the O'Keefe investigation?
Yes, there was.
Could you just generally describe, sir, for context and the commission's benefit, what were the concerns that you were made aware of?
There was concern that Trooper Proctor had a relationship with some of the potential witnesses in the investigation.
All right, sir. Did those concerns constitute any portion of your investigation into Michael Proctor's misconduct, meaning specifically OPIA case 2024-0014?
It did not.
Okay. What, if anything, to your knowledge, did the department do regarding those concerns?
There was a separate inquiry done to determine.
Diane, let's switch roles. I'll answer your sign only because I'm having both my hearing aids are glitching and I'm missing too much of the information. Let me unmute her. Diane, unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Give me 1 minute to plug me up so I can hear a little better. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden my expensive ears are glitching. It's so wonderful, isn't it?
No.
Technology is fabulous, but when it starts to go bad, it's not fun at all. Angela, are you okay back there?
Talk to me. Talk to me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can
Just
hear you.
Angela, just refresh your page. Put that little, you got the house at the top next to the stream and a little arrow that circles. Click it and come back in if you need to.
All right.
No big deal. All right. As I told everybody, we are training some new mods into this program and they're doing fabulous, but sometimes we have little glitches. So what you need to do, Angela, is if you need to close it down and come back in, you can do that. It's okay. It happens.
The nature of Trooper Proctor's possible relationships.
And was that documented separately by separate investigators within the department?
Yes.
And was that given internal personnel investigation number 2024-DIS-4?
Yes, it was.
All right, sir. In your ultimate report in this case, IAS 2024-0014, did you ultimately note in general what you learned about that separate investigation?
Yes.
Okay, can you summarize what you conveyed in your report from the commission, sir?
So it was learned while Trooper Proctor may have known some of the witnesses, the relationships were not substantial and they were consistent with how he had represented them.
All right, sir. Given what you understood about that investigation, and given the consistency that you mentioned with regard to his statements about those relationships and them being not substantial in nature, did any suggestion of misconduct on that matter have any impact on your findings, investigation, or recommendations in IAS 2024-0014?
No.
Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, I'd now like to ask you about your review of evidence regarding Michael Proctor and the text messages in particular. To begin, when did you first learn of or have made available to you the substance of the messages that were the focus of your investigation?
when Trooper Proctor testified in the criminal trial.
All right, sir. And on what day or days did he testify in the trial that you just mentioned?
June 10th and June 12th, 2024.
Up to that point, the department did not have any documentation nor admissions from Michael Proctor regarding the content of the disclosure of his, the content of his personal self.
Correct.
And how did you personally observe the open proceedings in the Reed prosecution?
I watched a live stream of the trial.
All right. And did that trial begin on or about April 29th of 2024 in Norfolk Superior Court?
Yes.
All right. And the live stream that you viewed, what live stream did you view, sir?
It was the Court TV live stream.
Was there any testimony, you mentioned June 10th and June 12th of 2024. Was there any testimony on June 11th?
No, there was not.
All right. And as part of your investigation, were you able to obtain copies of the video broadcast from both June 10th and June 12th for inclusion in your ultimate report?
I did.
And were those copies of the video recordings ultimately made exhibits 4 and 6 respectively to your report?
Yes.
All right. I'll note for the record that exhibits 4 and 6 to the witness's report are reproduced as exhibits 4 and 6 in the respondent's exhibits here today. In addition to the previous exhibits that I just mentioned, of the video broadcast footage, did you also have occasion to obtain any transcripts of those same 2 days of trial testimony?
Yes.
And specifically the testimony of Michael Proctor, those the transcripts focusing on his testimony?
I did.
Okay. And did those ultimately become exhibits 5 and 7, respectively, to your report?
They did.
I'll note for the record that those exhibits are attached as 5 and 7 to the exhibits here today. Thank you. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, did you also personally take notes during your viewing of trial footage in conjunction with the transcripts of the video? Did you also take notes on the content of Michael Proctor's testimony?
I did.
All right, sir. And did you include the substance of those notes as part of your report in this case?
I did.
And did you ultimately attach those notes to your report as Exhibit 8?
Yes, I did.
All right, so could you carefully, and it's a number of pages, but could you go to Exhibit 8, please, sir? You have Exhibit 8 in front of you, sir?
I do.
All right, sir. The Exhibit 8 that's in front of you, these are your notes from reviewing Michael Proctor's live testimony in the Karen Reed, the first Karen Reed trial.
They are.
And they are the same as the Exhibit 8 that's in front of you as part of the respondent set of exhibits.
Yes.
All right, sir. Now I'm jumping around a little bit, but please bear with me. I'd like to ask you about Exhibit 18 to today's proceedings.
Diane, this really is not a court proceeding. This is a proceeding with his employment. It's his appeal. So I guess proceedings would be this and not court process. Yeah. Okay. I forgot to tell you that. It looks like court, but it's not. But it is legal binding.
This shooting
Right,
was
so
August
you've had a
26th.
chance to take a look at what
Say that again.
It says prayers for Austin PD and victims of today's shooting was August 26th.
No.
This was
August
today.
is this, no, wait. That way I'll catch everybody up. This is Trooper Michael Proctor's appellate hearing, and this was a replay from August 26th. We were in the Lori Daybell trial, I believe, when this went on, so a lot of people didn't get to see this.
Yeah.
Separate from that, this morning in Austin, Texas, a group of police officers in different vehicles went to Zilker Park to do their sweep, meaning after certain hours, you can't be in the park and they kick you out. Upon entering, they saw a vehicle that was parked, and it was a stolen vehicle. The two other police officers in separate vehicles went on to patrol the park while the one officer stayed to call in and have the vehicle removed. And while waiting for that, a woman and a man came out of the bushes. The man was standing behind the woman. The officer told them to come towards him. At that point in time, the man slowly came out from behind the woman and he saw his hands were like this. The officer requested for them to show him their hands. And at that point, the man shot the woman in the head and then proceeded to shoot at the police officer, hitting him. The police officer is alive. One of the other police officers, of course, when he said officer down, came back, picked him up in his PO in the officer's patrol car and rushed him to the hospital. He is expected to survive and recover, but the woman is not expected. She may already be deceased. We don't know for sure. The victim did flee in a vehicle, then switch on foot. I don't remember, but ended up going into one of the homes in a neighborhood nearby. The homeowner did shoot him in the leg and arm. The homeowner had received a shelter-in-place warning on his cell phone, so when the guy busted in his house, he was ready with his lead shooter, and he protected himself and his home. The person is now in custody, and that's where we stand on that issue. But that happened this morning.
Well, that's why I asked.
Oh, that's okay. But we are praying for the Austin PD and the victims in today's shootings. Back to live.
Before you in printout copy of Exhibit 18 from today.
Yes, sir.
Is that a copy of the ultimate report that you authored and submitted in this case as the conclusions of your investigations, the findings and conclusions of your investigations in IAS 2024-0014?
It is.
All right. All right, I'd like to ask you now a series of questions about categories of allegations. Do you have a portion of your report that sets out the allegations into separate categories or organized by letter?
I do.
Okay. And would that be categories A through K, allegations A through K?
Yes, they would.
All right, so. Please turn to date stamp Respondent 504. That'd be the 14th page of Exhibit 18. You have 504?
I do, yes.
Before I ask you about this in detail, sir, is it fair to say that on the beginning of this page, that is Respondent's 504, and continuing on to the last, the 15th page of your report, Respondent's 505, you specify here, a series of categories of different but related allegations, the A through K that I mentioned.
Correct.
And in fact, those 11 set of allegations, did you personally review and assess each allegation of misconduct and issue a separate recommendation as to each?
I did.
And the separate recommendations that you ultimately issued were either sustained, not sustained, or exonerated based on the evidence that you found it?
Correct.
The allegation you assigned to letter A, sir, that concerned the claim that between January 29th, 2022 and February 1st of 2022, Michael Proctor provided information about homicide victim to non-law enforcement personnel?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation A based on your investigation?
Sustained.
The allegation you assigned letter B, sir, that concerned the claim that between January 29th, 2022 and February 1st of 2022, Michael Proctor provided information about potential witnesses in a homicide investigation to non-law enforcement personnel?
I did, yes.
And what was your ultimate recommendation as to allegation B, sir?
Sustained.
Sustained.
The allegation you assigned letter C, did that concern the claim between January 29th, 2022 and June 9th, 2022, Michael Proctor provided information about potential investigative steps and police actions related to a homicide investigation to non-law enforcement personnel?
It did.
What was your what was your recommendation as to allegation C, sir?
Sustained.
Allegation you assigned letter D, did that concern the claim that between January 29th, 2022 and June 9th, 2022, Michael Proctor sent derogatory, defamatory, and/or disparaging text messages to non-law enforcement personnel about a suspect in a homicide investigation?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation D?
Sustained.
Allegation you assigned letter E, sir, did that concern the claim that on February 1st, 2022, Michael Proctor engaged in behavior to accept a reward, gift, or gratuity on account of his official services?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation E?
Not sustained.
The allegation you assigned letter F, sir, did that concern the claim that on dates between June 9th, 2022 and August 17th, 2022, Michael Proctor sent derogatory, defamatory, and disparaging text messages about a suspect in a homicide investigation to other law enforcement personnel?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation F?
Sustained.
As to assignment, allegation assigned letter G, sir, did that concern the claim that on August 17th, 2022, Michael Proctor looked for nude photographs of a suspect in a homicide investigation?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation G?
Not sustained.
Just a few more, sir. Allegation you assigned letter H. Did that concern the claim that on July 19th, 2022, Michael Proctor consumed alcohol while on duty?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation H?
Sustained.
Allegation assigned letter I. Did that concern the claim that on July 19th, 2022, Michael Proctor consumed alcohol and then operated his department-issued cruiser?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation I?
Sustained.
Allegation assigned letter J, sir. Did that concern the claim that on July 19th, 2022, Michael Proctor received overtime pay while not engaging in official duties?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation J?
Exonerated.
Finally, sir, the allegation assigned by you, letter K, did that concern the claim that on dates between January 29th, 2022 and August 17th, 2022, Michael Proctor engaged in behavior that brought himself and the department into disrepute?
I did, yes.
And what was your recommendation as to allegation K?
Sustained.
For the benefit of the commission and the commissioner, may I just note for the record that I'll be shortly, in a few moments, referring to clip number 1 from our exhibit number 4.
Yes.
So if I could just notify the commission of that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, I'm now going to ask you a series of questions about each of the allegations that you assigned those different letters. Is it fair to say that as to allegation categories A, B, and C, Michael Proctor's communications to others took place on several different text message chains that you previously mentioned, one with a group of friends and another with his sister?
Yes.
All right. And it's also fair to say that from your review of the evidence and the messages from Michael Proctor under categories A, B, and C, his testimony about that began, my apologies. I'll restart that question. Is it fair to say from your review of the evidence that the messages pertaining to allegation categories A, B, and C, those messages began by Michael Proctor on the day that Officer O'Keefe's body was discovered, January 29th, 2022?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that his testimony at the Karen Reed trial as to categories A, B, and C, chronologically speaking, his testimony began on June 10th, 2024, under direct examination from the prosecutor?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to direct your attention to the video. Madam Commissioner, may we have clip number 1, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
And again, I'll advise everyone, please do not speak while the video is being shared.
I'm going to take a quick break and just say I think Judge Beverly needs to take some notes. This woman is running this hearing like a strict courtroom. I really appreciate the way she's doing this. Just saying.
And Commissioner, could you pause, please? Just for the record, I wanted to note, for the record, this clip begins as part of Respondents Exhibit 4, the video from June 10th, 2024, at approximately 5 hours, 24 minutes, and 21 seconds into that video.
Can you please repeat the timing again?
Yes, my apologies, Madam Commissioner. 5 hours, 24 minutes, and 21 seconds approximately is the beginning of this particular clip. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, before I ask the clip be played, is it fair to say that this is the start of his testimony regarding the text message chain with friends in which he reveals the identity and other details of the reported homicide victim, Officer John O'Keefe?
Yes, I believe so.
With the Commission's permission, I'd ask now to please play this beginning, again, at the timestamp I previously referenced. For counsel's reference, the corresponding transcript pages begin Exhibit 5, Respondents, page 95.
So I'll just play this clip from the beginning.
Yes, please, thank you.
Come to the correct time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Where I'm showing you a document, do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
It's a text message thread labeled Proctor Friends.
Now, over the course of your investigation, over the course of this case, you're aware that there were iCloud data that was obtained from your personal cell phone.
Yes.
And different text strings from that iCloud data from your personal cell phone, correct?
Correct.
And with respect to what has just been placed before you, is that an excerpt or piece from those particular messages?
It is.
And from the front page of that, can you tell the jury who are sort of the participants in this particular text communication?
There's several numbers that aren't identified. The three that are under kind of nicknames your buddies have for each other.
And generally speaking, just as far as the participants in this text communication, who are these people to you, and how do you know them? How long have you known them? Who are
the members on this text thread are close friends from junior high, first grade even.
So people you've known for years, is that correct?
Correct.
And do each of them live, or do any of them live within the general area at this time?
Some of them do, yes.
And so when some of them do, some of them do not, is that correct?
Correct.
And the ones that do not, how far away do they live?
As far away as Tennessee.
Now, with reference,
Sorry, there's a technical issue.
Thank you, ma'am.
I agree with you on that, June. Hello, C. Morales. Interesting, June. Interesting. Hello, June just talked. All right, everybody. I want to give a huge shout out. Oh gosh, I need my glasses on to do this. I hate that I can't read this stuff. There it is. Why do I not have it? All right, everybody, give a round of applause for Miss Angela. She's been running our chats. We have a lot of new people who are popping in, if not been here from the start. Miss Angela is in the background today learning my StreamYard program, and she's been popping up and running the stream from the background. Thank you so much. That permits Diane and myself to interpret. Makes it so much easier, and it will give more access to the deaf community when I have people in the background who can do all of the what I call the puppeteer work. So thank you so very much. I may have to just speed this up a little bit.
And what, if anything, did he send to you?
I need to brandish a gun more often.
And if you know, what is that in reference to?
He just recently moved to Tennessee, and he was kind of, I think, making a joke as kind of the lifestyle down there where guns are more prominent or more common to be carried around there. So I interpreted that as a joke in that nature.
And the next message, sir, from that same page 2527.
The next one is it's bold.
And is there a name associated with that number that's in these?
No.
Do you know who that person is?
I don't.
And the next message, sir, from 10:52 p.m.
Chip, name of that BPD cop.
And Chip, who is that referring to, sir?
That is one of my nicknames I've had since maybe high school.
A nickname that would be familiar amongst these group of friends in particular?
Yes.
And this time period when these text messages begin, sometime after 10:30 or 10:50 p.m. on January 29th, where are you and what are you doing in reference around that time period?
At this point in time, on the 29th, I'm home.
And that last text message, do you respond to that at approximately 10:53 p.m.?
Yes.
And what was your response?
John O'Keefe.
And the next message down from there, also at 10:53 p.m.?
Yes. He took custody of his sister's kids.
That's your response. There's another response above that, is that correct?
Yes.
What does that say?
How old?
And you respond as far as he took custody of his sister's kids, correct?
Correct.
Skipping down a couple, do you see an entry at 10:53:49 p.m.?
Yes.
And that's from the 617 number, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is the response there?
Oh man, that's rough.
And following that, do you respond to the earlier query as far as age?
I do.
And what did you say?
Mid-40s.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner.
Thank you. Please.
For the record,
Sir.
oh, I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
You can proceed. Sorry, it takes a while to bring it up.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. Understood completely. For the record, that was played, that portion of Exhibit 4, video from June 10th, 2024, was played until approximately 5 hours, 30 minutes, and 50 seconds. Madam Commissioner, may I have clip 2, please, from Exhibit 4. And for the record, for council's benefit, this begins at the transcript for Exhibit 5, date stamp, respondents 1 and 3.
Again, counsel, while I'm playing this, if you're speaking, it's going to get picked up on the recording. If you're speaking during the recording. Okay. So you put them on it'll be recorded.
And top of the page, sir, if you could read through that page as far as who's texting and what are they saying?
Again, for my friend from Tennessee and myself, I hope not, but I can't see it. I responded with, she waffled him. I looked at his body at the hospital.
I don't see it sharing on my screen.
Diane, I get to see all the bad words.
Sorry about that.
And top of the page, sir, if you could read through that page as far as who's texting and what are they saying?
Again, for my friend from Tennessee and myself, I hope not, but I can't see it. I responded with, she waffled him. I looked at his body at the hospital. He was banged up.
Now, as far as the next text from a 781 number, what does that say?
Did he get beat up?
And you responded to that, is that correct?
I did.
The objection sustained is to
What, if any, response did you provide them?
Nope.
objection. The objection was to the former question and the answer. I'm striking.
Now, turning your attention to 2534. And from this page, sir, if you could again just read through as far as indicating to the jury what
Diane.
it's and what it means.
From the start of the first text, so the owner of the house?
Yes.
So the owner of the house was a woman cop that beat him? That's what I initially thought after talking to the Can paramedic, that I saw the.
Okay, I got the defense, you got prosecution. Okay, one thing, one quick training thing. Angela, it's great to pop up the text if Diane is signing, but when she stops, I need you to pop it down so they can see me. Then if it wasn't up long enough, when Diane signs, you can pop the same one back up again if you need to. Because I'm being blocked. Can't see. You're doing great, love. Absolutely fabulous. Better than I did my first time.
And those last two are your responses, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, the following text messages are from your friends, is that correct?
Yes.
What are they saying?
Here, let's focus. What does she waffle to mean? What's the story? I responded, she hit him with her car.
And the she that you're referring to there, who is that?
Miss Reed.
You can pop them up.
Thank you. For the record, the video clip 2 that was just played was from Exhibit 4, beginning at approximately 5 hours, 53 minutes, and 18 seconds, until approximately 5 hours, 55 minutes, and 21 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, fair to say that concluded Michael Proctor's testimony as to allegations A, B, and C with regard to June 10th, his testimony on June 10th, and he did not testify on those subjects again until June 12th.
Correct. Correct.
May I please have clip 3 now, Commissioner?
Diane, I need to take a comfort break. I'll be right back.
Mr. Proctor, I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind to turn to tab 2 in the binder in front of you. Can you take a look at the face page of what's under tab 2 and tell me if you recognize that?
Yes, sir. It's the private text thread with high school friends.
And this includes 9 participants, 9 chat participants that you engaged with?
That's correct.
Those participants include people by the name of Bird, Whitey, and Doc, correct?
Correct.
And then there's some other folks in there that are identified by at least the last 4 digits of their phone number, correct?
Yes.
So this is a group text or a group chat with you and 8 of your high school friends about this investigation, correct?
Yes.
Trooper Proctor, you never thought when you were engaged with these other 8 individuals that this particular set of chats would ever become public, did you?
No, I did not.
I want to take a look at page 2527, if you could turn, that's on the bottom right of the document in tab 2. Do you recognize, do you have that page in front of you?
Yes, sir.
You recognize that this group chat was taking place on January 29th at about 10:52 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And the person that I'll identify as 5051, that's the last 4 digits of that phone number, indicates Chip, name of that BPD cop, correct?
Correct.
First of all, you indicated on Monday that you're Chip, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You responded at 10:53 p.m., John O'Keefe, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So you were willing to tell, just a few hours into an investigation of the death of a Boston police officer, you were willing to tell a bunch of high school buddies details about the investigation, including the name of the victim, correct?
At this point, it's 16 hours later, sir. Not a few.
16 is a few hours, correct? I'm not talking about days later.
It was about 16 hours later, sir.
Correct. And you identified John O'Keefe as the Boston police officer who was fallen in the yard at 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
You also informed, if you will skip to page 2529.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. For the record, clip 3 begins from our exhibit 6, the video from June 12th of 2024 at about 0 hours, 38 minutes, and 20 seconds. And for the record, that was paused at approximately 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this particular clip. Madam Clerk, or excuse me, I apologize, Madam Commissioner, I apologize. Could you please, and my timestamps are based on the full exhibit, so I'll have to approximate. Would it be possible to add from 2 minutes and 33 seconds, would it be possible to add just under 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 53 seconds? So if we could go forward to 12 minutes and 26 seconds, if I'm doing my math correctly.
Like Mr. Green or somebody close by to participate. Is it 12 minutes to?
We have 4 minutes, yeah. 5, 6.
That's 7.
7, yep. 8. 9.
It's 10.
No, it's 9. It's 10. It's about 11.
And Commissioner may go on for you to locate the video, or if you want it on the record, to ask you to speak up.
Sure.
You want to go on, or do you want to speak up?
No, I'll speak up.
Okay, thank
you. I was, so I'm sorry, what number is that now?
11 and a half.
11 and a half, okay.
Yeah, 12 minutes would
That's perfect.
close enough. Thank you, Madam Commissioner.
Correct?
Not that I was aware of.
Not a single bruise below the neck, right?
Not that I observed.
Looks a lot like a physical altercation, doesn't it?
Objection.
Sustained.
Bird writes, Bear, let's focus, correct?
Yes.
Who's Bear?
That's another nickname I have.
0095 writes, what does she waffledens mean? And then Bird writes, what's the story, correct?
Correct.
And you wrote, she hit him with her car. Is that right?
Yes.
We don't need that clip anymore, Mr. Carlin.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, please proceed.
Thank you. For the record, what was played, as I mentioned before, it began at approximately 0 hours, 38 minutes, and 20 seconds. It was played for approximately 2.5 minutes, then skipped ahead just under 10 minutes and played to the end of that particular clip, which would have been at about 0 hours, 55 minutes, and 12 seconds from our Exhibit 6. All right, sir. You just saw the 3 clips that were played, is that correct?
Yes.
The first 2 being Michael Proctor's sworn testimony under direct examination from Prosecutor Adam Lally, and the third under cross-examination by Defense Attorney Alan Jackson.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that as to allegation categories A, B, and C, Michael Proctor's communications with other individuals on those text message chains continued with a series of messages he exchanged with his sister? Is that correct, sir?
It is.
If I may just have one moment, please. Yes, if we could have clip 4, please, Madam Commissioner.
I'm showing you another document, if you recognize that.
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize that to be, sir?
Text communications between my sister and I.
That's your sister Courtney, is that correct?
That's correct.
And similar to what I had asked you about the prior packet, as far as the first message sent, date and time, last message sent, date and time, what is indicated on this first?
First message sent, date, time, December 10th, 2021 at 9:33 p.m. Last message sent, 8:30, 2022 at 8:48 p.m.
At 8:30, that's August 30th, is that correct?
I'm sorry, yes, August 30th, 2022.
And similar to the other messages, is there an indication as far as how many number of messages were sent between yourself and your sister over that time period?
2,865.
And fair to say that the documents in front of you do not contain 2,865 messages?
Correct.
Now, just in reference to the first message on page 2662, the first page in this packet, do you see that from December 10th of 2021 at approximately 9:33 p.m.?
Yes.
And what does that indicate?
The text message from my sister.
What does it say?
I called earlier, Dolph earlier, and Mom was puking in the background.
And do you recall what that was in regard to?
From the sounds of it, my mother had a stomach bug.
And sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2667. And these are text messages from January 29th, 2022, between yourself and your sister Courtney.
Correct.
And if you could read from the top of the page through the end, and please indicate to the jury as far as who's talking and who's saying what.
So I texted my sister at work, "What's up?" She responds, "What? Why?" I respond, "We just found it frozen to death on a front lawn in Canton this morning. Actually just interviewed Jen McCabe, said she knows you."
And the knows you, who are you referring to?
My sister.
And how did your sister respond to that?
Cut the shit. I responded, "You." It was a typo correction with my response to you. She responded, "Yeah, she knows Jack very well. She's really good friends with Julie." My sister continues on. Her sister is married to Brian Albert. My sister asks, "You still working?" ? I said, "Yep, gonna be out for a while." Homicide.
As far as your answers to those questions, or as far as your communications that you have with your sister at this time, in the afternoon of January 29th. What were those in regards to, or why were you communicating that to your sister?
At that time, it was just kind of in the news. I was just kind of letting her know I was out working. She didn't share anything specific. I wouldn't share anything specific on cases with my family or anyone. It was just kind of an overall innocent conversation.
Now, turning your attention to the next page, 2669. Again, if you could read from that page as far as who was talking and what the content is.
My sister starts off, the Kent thing is a homicide. I respond, this is at 3 in the afternoon on the 29th. Don't say a word to anyone. She said, of course not. I respond, and at the very least, it's suspicious. She responds, this is your livelihood. And then I would never miss with that. 3:07, I respond, Julie and Chris were at the bar with the victim and girlfriend. Got to interview them.
With the accents, a
Thank you.
little
For
hard.
the record, that was clip 4, extracted from Exhibit 4, the video from June 10th of 2024, beginning at 6 hours, 5 minutes, and 48 seconds approximately, and played till approximately 6 hours, 10 minutes, and 42 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, did Michael Proctor's testimony about the messages he sent with his sister relevant to allegations A, B, and C, did that testimony continue under cross-examination on June 12th of 2024?
It did.
May I have clip 5, please, Madam Commissioner? And for the commission and council.
We've established that you're very close with your sister, Courtney, correct?
Apologies. Just for reference, I'll be asking the commission to pause the video. There's a break in testimony so that we can skip ahead. I'll be asking for this particular clip, the commission to pause the video at 3 minutes and 57 seconds, and then skipping ahead approximately 2.5 minutes.
So please repeat that, sorry, you want me to play it to 3 minutes?
And 57 seconds.
And then advance it to?
And advancing it 2 minutes and 29 seconds, so approximately 2.5 minutes.
I know, to what number?
To about 6
minutes.
6 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the quick conversion.
We've established that you're very close with your sister, Courtney, correct?
Correct.
You provided your sister with updates on important advancements during the course of your investigation into this case. Did you not periodically?
I made her aware of newsworthy stuff.
That started as early as January 29th, 2022. Is that right?
Don't have the exact date or content.
Well, the day of the incident, you began letting her know that you were involved, that you had been assigned, what the status was.
Yes.
The nature of the case.
Correct.
It was a homicide, correct?
Yes.
Matter of fact, you discussed who the players were, who the people were that were involved. Isn't that right?
I just mentioned Julie and Chris were earlier in the evening.
So you mentioned the Alberts, correct?
Julie and Chris, yes.
You also mentioned the McCabe's too, didn't you? At some point.
Yes.
Yeah. At 2668, Your Honor, that's the page that I'm referring to. Okay. This one. You write homicide, correct?
So I said 2668?
Correct. I have my page number correct.
You're on the right page, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You wrote the word homicide. Is that right?
Yes,
You were describing to your sister the nature of the case that you are now assigned. Is that right?
correct.
She wrote the Canton thing is a homicide, and you wrote don't say a word to anyone. Correct?
Correct.
And then she wrote, of course not. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you wrote what?
In the very least, it's suspicious.
In the very least, it's suspicious. Correct?
Correct.
So at that time, at least at the time that you wrote that text on the 29th at 3:05 in the afternoon, you believed that the case was suspicious, right?
It was before we found significant pieces of evidence.
So you believed that it was suspicious that it may involve the Alphas, right?
Absolutely not.
She then writes, this is your livelihood, didn't she?
She did.
Meaning this kind of case could make or it could break your career, right?
Objection.
She then wrote, I would never mess with that. Is that right?
Yes.
Your sister, Trooper Proctor, was warning you that you shouldn't be investigating a case in which close friends or family members were involved.
Objection.
Did you take her text? This is your livelihood. I would never mess with that as a warning from her that you shouldn't be investigating a case that involved close friends.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Absolutely not. That was in response to don't say a word to anyone. And that was how I interpreted this is your livelihood. I would never mess with that.
A couple of minutes later, 3:07 on January 29th, you told your sister, quote, Julie and Chris were at the bar with the victim and girlfriend, got to interview them. Is that right?
Yes.
So you were telling Courtney, your sister, updates on what your investigation advancements were, correct?
Just that part.
Interview, why are you going to interview him?
Yes.
She wrote, you got to be kidding me, correct?
Correct.
Did you?
Advance it within 6 minutes and 20 seconds or so.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I need to take a little mental break for Miss Diane and I. For those of you who are not familiar with interpreting, this is very mentally taxing and very difficult. And sometimes we do need to take a little pause. So we're going to take a little pause right here. I kind of want to mention a few things. We have had a nice, healthy discussion in chat. I'm trying to keep up while I'm interpreting with Miss Diane. And June, I'm not saying I disagree with you. Proctor broke protocol and he was the lead investigator on this case. He therefore holds a higher level of responsibility. I do agree with that. And thank you for putting in my humble opinion. We appreciate that because everything is our opinions here. And we welcome people's opinions, even if they don't disagree. And this bantering back and forth, I really appreciate. For I have been known to change my opinion before Ms. June a few times because she has convinced me otherwise. So thank you so much for that. And Kristen Kelly Sue Cockatoo are on YouTube. Thank you so much for your opinion on that. Believe it, I mean, when we were in this trial and I threw up a poll about this, it was a 50-50 split on how people perceived Michael Trooper Proctor and the responsibilities and where they lied. So with that, everybody, for those of you who don't know Miss Diane, welcome, Miss Diane. Unmute yourself. I can't do it.
Hello.
Whoa, whoa,
Hello.
whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot. There we go.
So,
I'm I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. Sorry.
I'm sexy, and you know that movie.
Exy.
I'm
Exy.
sexy, and you know it.
So anyway, we just had to take a little mental break. It is very difficult to do what we're doing, and she's eating something because I could feel the wrapper opening.
It's a cracker.
A cracker. Well, I have sourdough bread.
Cracker. Mm-hmm.
That's true. I was given new information and I gained a new perspective. It wasn't convincing me. You're right. My bad choice of words.
Hmm.
It is now 12:15 our time, Central Texas Standard Time. I want to catch everybody up on what's going on, why I have prayers for Austin PD. Police officer in Austin, Texas was shot. A woman was we think is unalive. She was shot in the head by a man. So that's what that's for. I have the thin blue line for that. All right. So I'm going to finish this little piece of cracker and then we'll get back. This bread and we'll get back to it.
Very good. Mm.
I have to say, I do not agree. I do not agree with how this situation was handled. I do not agree that one person gets fired and other people get a minor slap on the wrist. But the more responsibility you have, the more egregious this is. And that's in my humble opinion. People ask what the IMHO stands for. In my humble opinion, is what it stands for. The reason I blacked out my screen, somebody asked, is because it creates a better background for the deaf person to see our hands clearly. When I don't have it, it's harder for them.
It's visual noise.
Thank you. Visual noise. I turned my shirt around. That's why I went off camera, because I switched it around because of the pattern is also visual noise. We have audible noises like air conditionings and external noises that affect how we hear. They have visual noise that affects them when they're watching us sign. You doing okay, Angela? All is well? Thumbs up. Are we good, Angela?
It's kind of like you trying to talk to somebody and understand them when there is a window behind them and you can't make out what they're saying because all you see is a outline.
Yep. So it's the way it is. All right, we're going to get back into this.
Oh, I got a cat cow yelling at my door. Okay, I'm trying to get.
I'm the witness. I don't know who that is. Is that his wife? June to DM, please.
We know these people.
Again, that's how I read that message.
You don't deny.
Why did that stop? There we go.
We know these people.
Again, that's how I read that message.
You don't deny.
Wait. I learned a new word. Massholes. Diane, massholes. That's the new word for these people.
Well,
too specific.
Newsworthy, would you have gone to the news at this point in the investigation? Would you have gone to the news and said, Julie and Chris were at the bar. I gotta go interview them?
Objection.
Is that what you do, Trooper?
No, I would not do that, sir.
So it's not newsworthy. These were details, internal details about the investigation, weren't they?
Yes.
And you were sharing them with your sister, Courtney Bob, correct?
Correct.
And Courtney.
Will you be using this again, Mr. Carly?
No, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. For the record, that was, again, Respondents Exhibit 6, a video from June 12th of 2024. Playback began at approximately 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 43 seconds. It was played till approximately 1 hour, 54 minutes, 40 seconds. And then it was skipped ahead to approximately 1 hour, 57 minutes, 9 seconds, and played to the end of that particular clip, 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 51 seconds. All right, Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, I want to move on to the allegation that you assigned letter D for the commission's benefit. Again, that was the allegation you categorized as D, was that Trooper Proctor allegedly sent derogatory, defamatory, and disparaging text messages to non-law enforcement personnel about a suspect in a homicide investigation. Is that true?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that as to allegation category D, sir, Michael Proctor's communications were also on multiple text message chains, one with the same large group of friends, another with his sister, and a third with his spouse?
Yes.
Was Trooper Michael Proctor's testimony on this subject, chronologically speaking, again, first addressed at that trial under direct examination from the prosecutor?
Yes.
And then also fair to say, this next clip will pick back up at a point we paused earlier, where Trooper Proctor was describing the text message chain with multiple friends, some in-state, some out-of-state, and the conversation turns to Ms. Reed and her appearance.
Correct.
Madam Commissioner, may I have clip 6, please? There's no skipping this. Back to this. For council's reference.
Second response, same number, Shihadli.
Apologies. For council's reference, this is transcript exhibit 5, respondents exhibit 5, date stamp, beginning on approximately page 108. Thank you.
Second response, same number, Shihadli.
And turning your attention to the next page, 2538, at the top, if you could just read a series of responses from yourself, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so he came from me. From all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. She's a whack job, CUNT.
So don't spell it. You have to. So these are your words, Trooper Proctor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Cunt. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
And sir, what is it that you are referring to there, or why would you text them?
These were, from all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. Is talking about the homeowner, Mr. Albert. I had mentioned the compelling evidence against Ms. Reed at this point indicated that Mr. Albert had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death. The rest of the unprofessional and regrettable comments are something I'm not proud of, and I shouldn't have wrote in a private or any type of setting.
Take it for a minute, Diane.
Sir, at some point, if I could turn your attention to page 2540. And there's a photograph that's shared within this text communication, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And does it indicate who shared that photograph? In the prior page, possible.
The number ending in 5051.
And who is depicted in that photograph that was shared within the group text?
It's Ms. Reed being escorted out of the State Police Milton Barracks.
And these are all from February 1st of 2022, around that time frame, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, sir, if I could direct you to page 2543. And sir, if I could direct you to the top of the page and ask you to read through that page indicating who's speaking and what the content of those communications are.
Okay. The number ending in 4146, question, is that chick a smoke? Again, 4146, question mark. I respond EH. I respond again, nutbag, as Chief would say. I also respond with, she's got a leaky poo knot, leaks poo.
And what, if anything, is that in reference to?
Again, to Ms. Reed's some medical conditions there. Again, unprofessional comments I should not have made, that I'm not proud of.
As far as attitudes expressed within these text messages and other text messages, what, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding this?
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of this investigation. They said these are unprofessional comments, but they absolutely do not detract from the integrity of the investigation or the facts and evidence of it.
Thank you, ma'am. For the record, the last clip 6 just played, was from Respondents Exhibit 4, a video from June 10th, 2024, beginning at approximately 6 hours, 0 minutes, and 15 seconds, and played until approximately 6 hours, 4 minutes, and 22 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, is it fair to say that that concluded Michael Proctor's testimony as to allegation D, demeaning Ms. Reed to his friends for June 10th, and he did not testify on that subject again until June 12th?
Correct.
Just before I ask for clip 7, I'm just going to note the next clip, clip 7, will come from June 12th. And for counsel and the commission's benefit, the transcript, Exhibit 7, Respondents 199, beginning approximately line 11. If I could have clip 7, when it's convenient for the commission to listen. Thank you.
That's right, it's clip 7.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Then 5051 changes gears. And he writes, she hot at least, correct?
Yes.
And what was your response to that?
From all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. She's a whack job cunt.
From all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. She's a whack job cunt. That's what you wrote, correct?
Correct.
16 hours into this investigation.
Yes.
Into your objective and unbiased, thorough investigation, correct?
Correct.
But sir, you didn't have all accounts, did you?
What I meant by that was,
did you or did you not have all accounts in your investigation?
the accounts we had was Ms. Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle, discovered taillight pieces at the scene. Those are the accounts we had.
The accounts
And
you had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The accounts you had, Trooper Proctor, were from 2 people named McCabe and 1 named Albert, who happened to be the homeowner and a Boston cop. Those are the accounts from recipient witnesses that you had, correct?
There was another additional witness that we had investigators that interviewed Ms. Roberts as well.
And from all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. That was your decision 16 hours into the investigation, correct?
Yes.
And the other decision that you made and the other determination you came to was my client, Karen Reed, was a whack job cunt, right?
Yes.
Now, I will say, when this was going on in trial, I kind of felt like they were saying these words as often and as forceful as they can because you normally can't say this in court. I think lawyers absolutely love it. Well, some lawyers absolutely love it when they get to use this kind of language in court because it's not often. But this word in particular, oh my gosh, I could not believe that um, Judge Beverly Canoni allowed that language to be used as much as it was. It was an interesting day in court. Come on. He needs to shave his head. He's got a lot of stubble up there.
What else did you say in response to, she's hot at least? Or she hot at least, question mark?
So following that text, I responded, yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent though. No ass.
Yeah, she's a babe. Who's the she?
Miss Reed.
Weird Fall River accent though. You're talking about her, the way she talks?
The accent.
And no ass. Now you're talking about her body. What's the physique, correct?
Yes.
You think that's appropriate?
Absolutely not.
Then Bird chimes in with a little comedy. Not newsworthy then, correct?
Correct.
In other words, well, she didn't have an ass. Nothing to see here, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
And then 5051 says, oh, she's skating, right?
Correct.
And what did you write after that?
My response was zero chance she skated.
And then what did you write?
She's fucked.
Zero chance she skates. She's fucked, right?
Correct.
You decided on the 29th of January, 17 hours into this investigation, you decided individually, Trooper Proctor, you're not only going to put it on the girl, you decided you're going to make sure this is cut and dry, and the way you're going to do it is to make sure that she's fucked. That's what you were saying.
Objection.
All right, so that's sustained. You can, the content's fine. You have to ask it different.
17 hours into this investigation, Trooper Proctor, you made the decision that you were going to put it on Miss Reed, didn't you? Put the case on Miss Reed. She was going to catch the case, correct?
No, absolutely not.
What did you mean then when you said she's fucked?
After the day's investigation with multiple troopers conducting multiple tasks and a debriefing at Canton PD amongst detectives in my office, we went through the overwhelming amount of evidence against Ms. Reed that she struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle. That's what I meant by that comment.
What you meant by that comment, Trooper Proctor, was you were going to make sure because 5051 had said she's going to skate. She's skating. When you said zero chance she skates, she's fucked. What you meant was, I'm going to make sure, I am going to make sure Ms. Reed doesn't skate. She's fucked. That's what you meant.
Objection.
Sustained.
And then Bird decides to chime in, good, no ass bitch, right?
Yes, that's what he wrote.
And how did you respond to Bird saying, good, no ass bitch?
I laughed.
Thought that was funny, did you? Trooper Proctor? Thought that was funny?
It was unprofessional of me. That's something I shouldn't have done.
Well, I think we all know it was unprofessional. There's a lot of things. I'm asking you, did you think it was funny?
According to my response at the time, apparently.
Then you sent a picture, just to add to it, to pile on, of Miss Reed being arrested, correct?
I don't. I'm not sure if that came from me, sir.
Let's skip to 2543. Are you there, Trooper Proctor?
Yes.
The date is now February 2nd, 2022. A person by the name of Doc writes, is that chick a smoke? Correct?
Correct.
Who's the chick?
Miss Reed.
And you write E-H, right?
Yes.
And then you write nutbag, as Chief would say, correct?
Correct.
Who's Chief?
A friend of mine.
And then you write what?
She's got a leaky balloon knot.
Trooper Proctor, explain to the jurors what a balloon knot is.
Your essentially, I guess, your rectum area.
Your anus?
Yes.
That's what you were referring to about Miss Reed?
Yes.
And you were making fun of her because you believed at that time that it leaked? That's how you were treating Miss Reed? Yes or no?
Yes.
And then you followed that up just to make sure you cleared up any mistake about what you meant with leaks poo, correct?
All right, so I'm gonna strike that. You could get this in, but do it the right way, Mr. Jackson.
You followed that up with the phrase leaks poo, didn't you?
I did.
Again, another reference to Miss Reed's medical issues and medical conditions, correct?
Correct.
Specifically focused on her anus, correct?
In reference, yes.
Thank you. For the record, what was just played, clip 7, came from Respondents Exhibit 6, beginning at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 29 seconds approximately, and was played until approximately 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 38 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, further as to allegation D of demeaning messages sent about a suspect sent to non-law enforcement, is it fair to say that Michael Proctor's communications also included messages he exchanged with his sister?
Yes.
Specifically on February 4th of 2022, did Michael Proctor send a message reading, quote, hopefully she kills herself?
He did.
And according to his testimony, Michael Proctor's testimony, to whom was he referring in that message, hopefully she kills herself?
Karen Reed.
And further as to allegation D of demeaning messages about a suspect sent to non-law enforcement, is it also fair to say Michael Proctor's communications also included messages he exchanged with his wife?
Yes.
Specifically on June 9th of 2022, did Michael Proctor send a text message reading, quote, we're going to lock this whack job up?
He did.
And according to Michael Proctor's testimony, to whom was he referring in that message?
Karen Reed.
All right, Detective Lieutenant, I want to return to the subject of your allegation E at a later point in your testimony. Right now, I want to ask you a series of questions and play a couple of clips with regard to the next allegation that was sustained according to your investigation, allegation F, namely that Michael Proctor sent derogatory, defamatory, and disparaging text messages to other law enforcement personnel about a suspect in a homicide investigation. Specifically, I'll be asking for the next clip, which is in sequence clip 8. Before I do, however, I'd just like to direct counsel and the commission's attention. The page reference for the transcript is Exhibit 5, date stamped Respondents 125. That I have at the commission's convenience, clip 8, and this one unfortunately does have have a jump in the middle of it.
Stephen, can I ask, you want to request it, it's been sorry.
There's a skip of about 7 minutes and 15 seconds in the middle of the tape, so, or the middle of this particular clip, just for efficiency and administrative economy here.
You'd like it to run for how long?
If you could please have it run at the beginning for the first 2 minutes and 1 second, and then skip ahead 17 minutes and 15 seconds.
Skip ahead 17
to 9:16. Play to the end.
Fire!
Or 9.
9:16.
Yes.
Contained therein.
First message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022 at 1:09 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022, 4:45 p.m.
And the number of messages, sir.
4.
And if you could read the contents of those messages contained there. Please indicate who's speaking.
So I started out, of course, it's undetermined. She was a whack job. Trooper DeChico responds, "Dear God, WTF, what the hell is inconclusive about the whole thing?"
And as far as your indication there, as far as she was a whack job, who are you referring to there?
Miss Reed.
Now, as far as the undetermined or what you're talking about, what is sort of the content or context of this conversation?
That would be the manner of death was determined to be undetermined by the medical examiner's office.
And so I ask you again, as far as your reference there in the bottom of the first page, as far as she was a whack job, who do you believe you're referring to there?
Again,
Reed or the medical examiner?
Miss Reed.
Yeah, Coach Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, Coach Williams.
Yes.
And you notice the documents, you those look up when you finish. Do you recognize those, sir?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Another text thread between myself, Trooper DeChico, and Trooper Krakowski.
And Trooper Kaskowski is another trooper within your unit in the state police, is that correct?
Yes.
And again, if you could read from the first message sent date and time, and the last message sent date and time.
First message sent, date and time, 5/24/2022, 9:21 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/24/2022, 4:56 p.m.
And as far as the number of messages indicated within this text chain between yourself, Trooper Kaskowski, and Trooper Chico,
494.
fair to say the documents before you do not contain 494 text messages, correct?
Correct.
Just in reference to that first page 2635, first message sent, that's May 24th, 2022, around 9:21 p.m., is that correct?
Yes.
And that's a message sent from Trooper Kaskowski, is that correct?
Correct.
What is that?
Appears to be a picture of a toy Santa Claus.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to Page 2644. If I could direct you to the bottom of the page, sir, you see the text from yourself at June 9, 2022 at 11:19 p.m.
Yes.
Very bottom of the page. Your Honor, Mayor, folks, just to point it out.
Yes.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay.
If you could read what you wrote on June 9, 2022, around that time, sir.
Do you like women who shit themselves?
Again, sir, what is it that you're referring to there?
Again, a regrettable comment made about Miss Reed's medical condition.
Now, if I could direct you to the following page, 2645. And again, if you could read from that page as far as who is, indicate to the jury who is speaking and what is being said on page 2645.
I'm speaking right now. The statement she made tonight at age 7 was mental. Thank Christ it was on BWC, which is body worn camera. Trooper Bukowski responds, that's her, smoke. Trooper Bukowski again, what'd she say? I respond, said the Albans beat the shit out of O'Keefe, left him for dead, and that's why her taillight was cracked. She's gross. Trooper DeChico, oh, fuck her, bitch.
Okay, so can I approach the retrieving room?
Yes.
Sir, with reference to that last bit, as far as June 9th, 2022, what was going on that day in reference to this matter again?
Miss Reed was being processed at the Mill Barracks.
Thank you. I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
I have to say this, case one, I brought this up in trial. You are correct. This is something I wished her lawyers hammered on a little bit more. Luckily, she's not convicted, but he said cracked, not busted out. That is one little piece of evidence I feel that the defense could have really hammered home when they cross-examined him and used those words against him and said, wait. Here, on this date and time, you said cracked. Now over here, you're saying it's busted out. Which is it? Which? So that is case one. You were so right about that. I wish we would have had more opportunity to dive into that, but you are right. Ha 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 ha, old one. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. And I remember that. I remember thinking, why is the defense not hammering in on that fact? So they may have had a reason. I don't know. Again, we do have a vulgar language warning for those who are just now watching or hopping on. Thank you so much for joining us. Back to the regular programming.
Yes.
Can I approach?
Yes.
Can we give another set of documents to recognize those?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Another text thread with members from my office, troopers.
And And who are the troopers that are listed within that?
Trooper Chris Moore, Trooper Jeff Kukowski, Lieutenant John Fanning, Trooper Dave DeChico, and Sergeant Yuri Vikenik.
And what is the first message sent, date and time?
That would be 5/26/2022 at 8:19 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/26/2022, 5:36 p.m.
And what is listed as far as the number of messages within this chain?
651.
And fair to say the documents before you do not contain all 651 of those messages within this chain, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to
Oh! I'm so shit. That was operational error. Operational error. Now I got to find that. June, I think you sent me that video. I'm going to go on your live. I hope I did not. Yep, I lost the link. June, would you mind sending me that link again? Maybe it's time for a break. It's break time. That's what it is. Ah! Oh my God, that was operational error. I'm going to get it back. Don't worry. I get it back. I apologize, guys. I really do. My bad. Got it back. I got it. We're good. I got it.
You were sitting at your desk, presumably alone at your office, at about 10 p.m.
Kristen, honesty here. I usually wear glasses and I'm in contacts and they're trial pair. And in a couple of days, they're not quite the right subscription. So things are slightly blurry. And I didn't mean to hit an X, and I was going for a sound adjustment and I hit the X. So that is my apology. You're right. I am not a rookie here. What the hell am I doing? I apologize. But you know what? This actually is good training because I'm teaching a couple of my mods how to run this program. And I have a mod in the background who's watching me. And she just saw what had happened. So, I mean, accidents happen. Yeah. Oh, I really am. I'm never, these are bifocal contacts, y'all. And they are trial and they're not exactly right. I'm waiting. I've got to make an appointment and go in the next day or two and get a little stronger. And then hopefully that'll be perfect. My apologies, boo. My apologies.
Going through my client's personal cell phone, correct?
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, you were sitting there texting with your friends and colleagues at Massachusetts State Police about you going through her personal cell phone. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
And that included Trooper DeChico. Is that right?
DeChico, yes, sir.
Trooper Fanning, Trooper Butnick, Trooper Moore, and Trooper Kukowski.
Kukowski.
Tell me that again.
Kukowski. Yes, sir.
All right. All the consonants are silent. Fair enough. Trooper Fanning and Trooper Butnick are your supervisors.
Yes.
And you were bragging to all 5 of them that you were going through Karen Reed's cell phone about 9:45 at night.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
No, I wasn't bragging.
Wait. Kristen, in the realm of YouTube world, I'm only a year old. I may not be a rookie, but would you call me seasoned yet? Just out of curiosity. Just wondering.
Sorry.
How did you refer to Ms. Reed in that text exchange where you informed them that you were going through her phone?
I used regrettable language. I said going through his retarded client's phone right now.
You were shown a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Same document. Your Honor, I think the court has the copy that I was going to use.
I thought I gave you that too.
I remember.
You received a photograph. Actually, Your Honor, if I could, I would ask that this document be marked as next in order. Assuming the witness verifies himself innocent.
So go ahead.
Do you recognize this document?
I do, sir.
Same document that you were shown, copy of the same document that you were shown by Mr. Unetti, correct?
Solali.
Mr. Lally.
Correct.
All right. Is that a true and accurate reflection of the text messages that you were exchanging with Chris Moore, Jeff Krakowski, John Fanning, Vito DiCicco, and Yuri Buchanan?
Yes.
I've asked that this be marked.
Okay, any objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you if I'm on there. Have that, please.
Hold on, I gotta create something. Give me just a split minute here because I need to create this in here. Okay. Did we go back too far?
Trooper Proctor, Trooper DiCicco had sent you a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, because of the technical issue, I'm not going to display on the television. May I display this hard copy briefly? Sure. Thank you. You see that, gentlemen?
I do, sir.
Is that the photograph that you received?
Yes.
Is that what you referred to on direct examination with Mr. Lally about receiving the photograph from Mr. Unetti?
Correct.
And then your response was what?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
Actually, your response was, I'm going through his retarded client's phone right now, correct?
Yes, after the picture, sir, yes.
Who's the retarded client?
I'm referring to Ms. Reed, again, unprofessional language.
I'm asking who you were referring to.
Ms.
I hope
Reed.
you've got an explanation. Who was it you were referring to as retarded?
Ms. Reed.
Karen Reed, the woman sitting to my left.
Yes, sir.
The subject of your investigation as a professional, correct?
Yes, sir.
As an unbiased, objective investigator, the person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded, correct?
Again, poor language on my part.
Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it, right?
Objection.
I'm going to sustain that, Mr. Jackson.
After you referred to my client as retarded, then you decided to make a comment about Mr. Unetti, her lawyer, correct?
Correct.
And what did you say about Mr. Unetti again?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
I hate that man. I truly hate him, correct?
Correct.
You didn't say I dislike him, disagree with him. You said I hate him, correct?
Correct, sir.
That's a visceral response to someone who's just doing the job, right?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Sure. Let me ask it this way. Were you upset or annoyed or pissed off that Karen Reed had gotten representation, legal representation, to represent her?
No, not at all. That's her right.
Well, let me ask you this. In August of 2022, you said you absolutely hate it, correct?
Use absolutely. Yeah, I didn't use absolutely, sir.
You used truly, correct?
Truly, yes.
How do you feel about it now? Sitting right there.
I still have a chair for him now.
I'll let it stand.
What did you tell your colleagues that you were looking for as you sat at almost 10 p.m. at night on a Wednesday night, August 17th, 2022, looking through Karen Reed's phone?
I didn't tell them I was looking through anything. They knew I was going through Miss Reed's phone. I provided a inappropriate joke as an update. They knew I was going through location data, text messages, Google searches. But like I mentioned earlier, I had to stop.
Except for Proctor, none of that really professional sounding stuff ended up in your comments to your bosses, did it?
Again, it was a poor joke.
Is that yes or no?
It did not, no.
It did not.
No,
As a
sir.
matter of fact, what did you write after you talked about going through the quote retarded client's phone?
Objection. No news so far.
No nudes so far, correct?
Correct.
When you said that to your bosses,
Yes, sir.
you were looking for naked photographs of Miss Reed on a Wednesday night as you sat in your office at 9:44 p.m., correct?
No, not correct.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked for naked photos of a male suspect that you were investigating?
I don't look for naked photos on anyone's phone.
But you said you were looking for nudes of Miss Reed.
Like I said, Mr. Jackson, it was an inappropriate joke.
Sir, this is a citizen. She's a woman. You were supposed to be objectively investigating. Does your text message to your colleagues at Massachusetts State Police reflect an objective investigation of a citizen?
Objection.
You can get part of that question and ask again.
Do you believe that your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Do you believe that, Trooper Proctor?
I believe poor jokes have, in unprofessional language, have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence of this case.
It's not that they don't have any bearing on the facts and integrity, it's that they
I don't
have no
believe that.
place in a professional investigation because it shows bias, right?
Objection.
So I have to sustain that as asked. Go ahead and ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating Karen Reed as objectifying her, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Is that right?
Rephrase the question, please.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating her as objectifying her in those moments, correct?
Again, Mr. Jackson, it was a poor choice of words and a joke that I should not have texted out, but from the start of the investigation, we didn't know what we had.
And your, Trooper Proctor, your point in saying no nudes so far to your colleagues in Massachusetts State Police was to suggest that you were looking for nudes and you'd update them when you found them, correct?
Incorrect.
Thank you, Commissioner. For the record, that last clip 9, came from Respondents Exhibit 4, the video from June 10th of 2024, beginning at approximately 6 hours, 56 minutes, and 56 seconds. It was played until approximately 7 hours, 0 minutes, and 4 seconds. And then it was skipped ahead to approximately 7 hours, 4 minutes, and 59 seconds, and played again until approximately 7 hours, 11 minutes, and 35 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley.
Thank you. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, as I indicated, I'm going to divert us from the video clips for the time being and ask you a series of questions about your investigations, findings, and recommendations for 2 additional allegations. Namely, I want to ask you about allegation that you lettered E, that Michael Proctor accepted a reward, gift, or gratuity, and allegation G, that he searched for nude photographs of suspect Karen Reed. Just to remind the commission, sir, is it correct to say your recommendation as to both such allegations after your review of the evidence in this case was both were not sustained because of lack of sufficient evidence to prove them? Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, beginning with allegation E, sir. What was the basis for the claim you investigated about Michael Proctor allegedly accepting a reward, gift, or gratuity?
He testified that in a text exchange with his sister, she had texted him that a potential witness in the investigation wanted to get him a gift.
All right. And based on your review of Michael Proctor's testimony at the Karen Reed trial, the first Karen Reed trial in the summer of 2024, what if any response did he give to that suggestion in that particular exchange?
His response was to get Elizabeth one, and he wanted to say that Elizabeth is his wife.
All right. Based on your review of Mr. Proctor's testimony, any applicable messages, and any other evidence from any other source that you gathered on the subject, did you find any indication that Michael Proctor, his spouse, or the friend had ever taken any action to further the request for or to actually obtain any gift?
No.
Based on that review, did you find an indication that Michael Proctor or his spouse had ever communicated with the friend about the gift or the possibility of getting it?
No.
As part of your investigation, and this is a subject to which we will return, did you interview Michael Proctor in July of 2024?
I did.
Did you ask him about this subject in particular, specifically this exchange regarding get Elizabeth one?
I did.
And based on his answers to you in that interview, can you summarize what he told you and what, if any, inferences you drew from that?
He told us that when he got that text and he responded with get Elizabeth one, he wasn't meaning to get Elizabeth a gift. He was trying to reference the fact that while he was working late and long hours in this investigation, his wife was home taking care of his kids. He was merely trying to show that the recognition, that his wife had deserved the recognition and not him.
And just to, I think I asked this question, but just to put a fine point on it, sir, did you ever find any evidence in your investigation to suggest any follow-up effort on Michael Proctor or anyone else's part to obtain that gift?
No.
All right. And did you take from that support for Mr. Proctor's statements to you in the interview that this was not meant to be taken literally, that he was not soliciting a gift?
Correct.
All right. Now shifting gears, sir, to the other allegation that you stated or found was not sustained, allegation G, sir. What was the basis for the claim that you investigated about Michael Proctor allegedly searching for nude photographs of Karen Reed?
He had texted some co-workers in regards to searching Ms. Reed's cell phone, no nudes so far.
And that was the subject of the last couple of clips that were just played, where he was under questioning by prosecutor and the defense counsel during that portion of the Karen Reed trial.
Correct.
All right. And did you ask Mr. Proctor about this particular subject during your July 2024 interview of him as well?
I did.
Based on your review of the trial testimony and what he told you in that interview and any other evidence that you received on this point, what, if anything, did you find? What inferences did you draw?
So from his testimony in his interview with us, he had stated that he was authorized to be searching in her phone for geographical data, text messages, and he related, and I know this to be true, at least anecdotally, that it is not uncommon to find personal or sensitive photos on a cell phone when you're not looking for them. He stated that that the text he sent was an inappropriate joke, referencing that anecdotally true fact, and he had in no way or effort searched for any photos, and I found that to be credible.
All right, sir. And you mentioned a couple of things I want to follow up on. You mentioned he was authorized to go through that phone. Your investigation indicated he was authorized to go through Ms. Reed's phone at that time based on the authority of the search warrant?
Correct.
And then I want to ask you about your statement that anecdotally you know certain things about where that kind of content can come from during the search of a cell phone. When you say anecdotally, is that based on your training and experience, sir?
It is, sir.
And did you previously work as a member of an SPDU working major crimes cases in a similar fashion to Trooper Proctor?
I did.
And in terms of training and experience as to where you might find or where you might inadvertently find nude images contained on a cell phone, that's based on your personal experience of searching phones pursuant to warrants of the kind that Mr. Proctor had obtained.
It is.
I want to ask you the next series of questions, sir, about allegations H, I, and J that you investigated. Fair to say, sir, those particular allegations, as you termed them in your report, H, I, and J, those are all related to one another?
They are.
And in general, what was the nature of allegations H, I, and J?
In July of 2022, Trooper Proctor, along with a Canton police officer, had traveled to the Cape area to work on an unrelated invest. While they were down there on their return trip home, they stopped for dinner, where Trooper Proctor testified that he had a beer or two and then drove home.
And did you receive information from Mr. Proctor either during his public testimony at the trial or during your interview with him that he was operating his department issued cruiser on that occasion?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And fair to say that during the criminal trial, Mr. Proctor was asked about text messages he exchanged between himself and Canton Police Officer Albert at that time.
Yes.
One of the messages that was exchanged on the subject was Officer Albert saying, "It's bad, I was hungover for sure today."
Correct.
And Officer Albert acknowledged that he had left his badge in the state police cruiser that Trooper Proctor was assigned at that time.
Yes.
All right. And just to split them off for a moment, just to be absolutely clear on the record, H, I, and J. Allegation H concerns simply whether or not he consumed alcohol on duty. Is that a fair characterization of allegation H as you phrased it?
It is.
Allegation I, on the other hand, concerns whether Mr. Proctor operated his cruiser after consuming alcohol.
Correct.
All right. And then allegation J concerns whether or not he put in for and received overtime pay improperly. Is that correct?
Correct.
Fair to say during his public testimony, he did answer some questions on these particular subjects that were of significance to your investigation on these 3 points.
He did.
Could you summarize, please, sir, what information did Michael Proctor provide by means of his testimony under cross-examination on June 12th, 2024 on these particular related allegations?
He testified that he drank 1 or 2 beers and then got into his cruiser and drove home.
Did he?
Okay, I want to say this real quick. Ryan Apple Snapple. I love the way that it rolls off the tongue. We are interpreters. I am deaf without my hearing aid. Diane is a lifelong interpreter for the deaf, and she's my personal interpreter as well as my college tutor. And she volunteers her time to interpret so we can provide access to the deaf community here when she has time. I do sometimes just pop in and start interpreting when I know a deaf person is watching. So,
yeah, she keeps me in her pocket.
No. So I wanted to explain that because we do have new people who are probably, why are they interpreting for the deaf? I don't see anybody. Well, we do have deaf people who watch. A lot of times they don't comment because they're typed or commented or text English would not read the same as ours. and it looks strange. And so they're very self-conscious. How do you sign that? Yeah, conscious. I would have been right. So, but thank you for asking. This is Miss Lovely Diane. All right, back to court.
Indicate that that particular instance was all on July 19th, 2022?
He did.
And he also answered some questions about the text messages on that occasion and the following day.
Yes.
Now, I'd like to ask you about the follow-up steps you took, sir, personally, during your investigation with H.I.N.J. For the week encompassing July 19th and ending July 23rd, 2022, did you have occasion to obtain Michael Proctor's pay station entry time report?
I did.
Can you describe, sir, just in general, what report that is? What kind of document is that?
So the pay station is our attendance. It's how we get paid every week. We put in the hours that we work, and that's what generates our pay.
The particular pay station time entry report for that week that I just asked you about, was that ultimately attached to your report as Exhibit 9?
Yes.
Could you turn to Exhibit 9 in the respondent's exhibits, please?
That's their paws, not me. Or maybe the cat.
I&J. For the week encompassing July 19th and ending July 23rd, 2022, did you have occasion to obtain Michael Proctor's pay station entry time report?
I did.
Can you describe, sir, just in general, what report that is? What kind of document is that?
So the pay station is our attendance. It's how we get paid every week. We put in the hours that we work, and that's what generates our pay.
The particular pay station time entry report for that week that I just asked you about, was that ultimately attached to your report as Exhibit 9?
Yes.
Could you turn to Exhibit 9 in the respondent's exhibits, please? Is Exhibit 9 in front of you now, sir?
It is.
All right, so that's Respondent's Exhibit 9. Does that also line up with the Exhibit 9 that you attached to your report?
Yes.
All right, and that is the, just to be absolutely clear, that's the pay station time entry report for the week encompassing July 19th of 2022.
It is.
All right. Did you also have occasion to obtain what is known as the Administrative Journal Duty Roster for the Norfolk State Police Detective Unit, including any entries for Michael Proctor for shifts or overtime?
You haven't been here in a while. My service dog, March 30th, curled up in my floorboard of my car and died. It had a congenital heart defect that we didn't know about. And I did CPR for over 30 minutes and I couldn't save her. But thanks for asking. I miss my baby. Oh, but Kristen, you hadn't been here in a while. You didn't know she passed away. She's here in spirit.
Claimed on the date of July 1922.
I did.
And did you ultimately make that Exhibit 10 to your report?
I did.
And is that same Exhibit 10 that's Respondent's Exhibit 10?
It is.
All right. And then last in this group, sir, for the date July 19th, 2022, did you also have occasion to obtain an automatic vehicle locator, also known as AVL report, for Mr. Proctor's assigned cruiser at that time?
I did.
Did you ultimately make that Exhibit 11?
I did.
And if you could turn to Respondent's 11, is that the same Exhibit 11 that you attached to your report?
It is.
All right, sir. Having obtained these records, Could you please summarize for the commission what they contain and what, if any, inferences you drew from them with respect to these related allegations H, I, and J?
Sure. The SBDU DAJ showed that he was scheduled to work on the 19th. His pay station shows that he did work and he did get paid for his regular shift, which was 8:30 to 5. It also showed that
He did get paid for his regular shift.
from 8:30 to 5. It also showed that he also got paid overtime from 5 till 10:30 at night. The AVL logs confirmed that he was working. He did work his he started work at 8:30 and he did return home at the time that was consistent with what he put in for his overtime.
And when it came to the AVL logs, because those are linked to the department issued cruiser he was assigned at the time, those AVL logs indicate that in terms of his operation, he was operating that department issued cruiser on that occasion.
Correct.
Based on his investigative duties that day, sir, did your investigation reveal that the department had authorized him to disable the cruiser's AVL capability in order to protect the integrity of the investigation he was working on that occasion?
Yes.
And fair to say you found no violation of misconduct in that respect?
Correct.
During, again, the same interview I asked you about before, the July 2024 interview that you conducted with Michael Proctor, did you ask him about these related allegations during that interview?
I did.
What information relevant, if any, to your investigation did he provide to you during that interview?
Trooper Proctor, he reiterated that he had 1 or 2 beers at dinner on his way home. He stated that his work down the Cape, he interviewed a witness and tried to track down a witness. I found that from Canton to the Cape, to include travel time and the work and the time that he spent on his work down there, including the stop for dinner, that the amount of time he put in for overtime was appropriate.
Lucas, on me, camera. There we go.
Please, to go to respondents 18, your report, please.
Sometimes the hands just do it by themselves.
I know, I do the same thing. We get in a rhythm. I go,
I know. That's when I know. It's like, oh, I messed it.
my turn, your turn, my turn.
No, mine. Me do it.
Could you go to
Welcome to our channel, Sarah
paragraph
New.
27 there on 502?
I do.
All right, sir. Looking at toward the bottom of 27, paragraph 27 on the respondents 502, 6 lines up, in about the middle of the line, 6 lines up, do you see the sentence that begins, while there has been nothing found?
Yes.
Could you read just that one sentence, or excuse me, just those 2 consecutive sentences, starting with while there has been nothing found?
While there has been nothing found in this investigation to support the notion that Trooper Proctor was intoxicated, department members are not allowed to consume alcohol while working. His testimony, combined with his statements provided to investigators, confirmed that he consumed alcohol and then operated his department-issued cruiser on July 19th, 2022.
Right, so, as a result of your entire investigation, and specifically your findings and the evidence gathered on this point, did you recommend sustained findings for both allegations H and I, consumption of alcohol and operation of a department cruiser after having consumed alcohol?
Yes.
And based on, again, the same information, and in particular directing your attention to exhibits 9, 10, and 11, what facts did you gather relevant to allegation J the suggestion of potential overtime abuse or the allegation of potential overtime?
So like I previously said, looking at or considering the travel time from Canton to the Cape, the amount of work he did, and the amount of time that he spent at the restaurant, I found it appropriate. It's entirely reasonable for troopers while they're working to stop and have a meal. It would be inappropriate if it was an extended stay at a restaurant. But again, factoring in the travel time, the time that he was working down there, his return home, I found that he did not spend any extended period of time eating. So I found it appropriate.
So this was not an inappropriate request for overtime pay based on extended.
Correct.
And as a result, you recommended the finding exonerated with respect to this particular allegation.
I did.
All right, sir. I want to take you through the next few exhibits attached to your report, if I could, please. I'll be referencing specifically exhibits 12 through 18, then the next group of questions. Several times just now, I asked you about the interview, the July 2024 interview you conducted in this case of Mr. Proctor. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to issue what's known as a standard subject call-in letter to Michael Proctor to arrange for that interview through his counsel?
Yes.
And did you ultimately make that initial call-in letter attachment exhibit 12 to your report?
I did.
And you could go to exhibit 12, respondents exhibit 12. Is that the same exhibit 12 that you attached to your report?
Yes.
All right. And was that call-in interview date rescheduled in the case from that date to July 19th of 2024?
It
At
was.
the request of Mr. Proctor's attorney?
Yes.
And did it actually ultimately end up taking place on the date requested by his counsel?
Yes.
And was a second subject call-in letter issued as a result of the rescheduled
Yes.
interview?
Yes.
And did you ultimately make that exhibit 13 to your report?
I did.
All right, and that's the same exhibit 13 that's before you as respondents 13?
Yes.
Did you provide to Michael Proctor prior to beginning that interview the standard department administrative rights notice and waiver forms for the purposes of conducting that interview on July 19th?
I did.
Were Michael Proctor and his counsel given full opportunity to read and execute those forms prior to beginning the interview?
Yes.
And were those forms constituting a total of 3 pages ultimately made exhibit 14 to the report?
Yes.
And is that the same exhibit 14 that's respondents?
No.
I forgot. Somebody asked me. They saw that I had grabbed this little paper towel roll. I have it sitting over here. It's perfect length for me to use to adjust my fan. I have a fan that's on and I tilt it up or tilt it down. It's the perfect tool. I know, it's crazy. Recycling.
All right, so what do you have there?
This is a email to Trooper Proctor advising of his call-in letter.
All right. Could I inquire of the commission that it's possible there was a printing error with regard to the witnesses binder? You could go to it. Okay, thank you. Could I inquire of the commission with respect to, there appears to be a printing error with regard to exhibit 14, and I apologize to the commission. Is there a way to refer to the exhibit 14 in the commission's copy?
Yes. Do you know?
May I approach? All right, sir. My apologies for the confusion. Exhibit 14. The exhibit 14 that's now before you as respondents exhibits 401, pages 401, 402, 403, and 404. Are those the administrative rights and waiver forms that were executed by Mr. Proctor and counsel on that occasion?
Yes.
My apologies for the confusion. The interview of Michael Proctor on that day, was that taken in the presence of counsel?
Yes,
And was he afforded, he being Mr. Proctor, afforded the opportunity to consult with his attorney as much as desired before answering questions?
he was.
Was the interview recorded?
Yes,
How was it recorded?
on a digital handheld device.
And I'll note for the record that that's been submitted as Exhibit 15 to the Commission.
Yes, thank you.
Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, ultimately, just to round out this particular series of exhibits in this portion of your report and respondents' exhibits, did you ultimately include what's known as a concise history, which is essentially a disciplinary history for Michael Proctor, and include that as Exhibit 16 to your report?
I did.
All right, and I'll note for the record that that was Exhibit 16, respondent 16. So, just to be absolutely clear on the record, Exhibit 15 is the transcript of the testimony by Michael Proctor during that interview, and 17 is the audio. I apologize for any confusion. Sir, and I think we referenced it before, but just to be absolutely clear on the record, Respondent Exhibit 18 is your report that you all authored in this case.
It is.
All right, so moving ahead, if I could please, to the next set of exhibits. I have a series of questions on exhibits number 19 through 29, respondents 19 through 29.
Ada, somebody's at my door.
You permitted on the execution of the non-disclosure agreement that you mentioned earlier from the Federal District Court of Massachusetts to obtain and use for this disciplinary investigation copies of the trial exhibits from the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed prosecution containing the text message chains that have been referenced here today.
Yes.
All right. And if you could please refer to exhibits 19, 20, and 21. If you could just briefly take a look at 19, 20, and 21 as in the binder before you, and just tell me if those are correct representations of the trial exhibits that were obtained from the Norfolk Superior Court.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about exhibit. Could you turn to 22, please, sir? Respond to 22.
I didn't do that. I know touchy.
Yes, sir.
Could you just briefly describe for me, please, what is exhibit 22?
It is a training bulletin that's sent out to all members of the Mass State Police.
All right, and specifically, this particular training bulletin contained in respondents 22 is training bulletin 2017-19.
Correct.
Does that title for that training bulletin indicate it was issued in the year 2017?
Yes.
All right, and the title of the particular training bulletin is use of communication devices?
Correct.
All right, and just for completion here, is exhibit 23 second issuance of that training bulletin for the 2018 date?
It is.
And is that the content of those essentially identical, sir?
They are.
All right. Are these documents examples of notifications put out by the department to all employees, alerting them to specific legal policy and other developments as they arise?
Yes.
The two bulletins here together, exhibits 22 and 23, that they inform sworn members of an occasion in which a superior court ordered the production of law enforcement officers' personal smartphones in order to extract discoverable information from them,
Yes.
and specifically discoverable statements by law enforcement contained on personal cell phones in connection with a criminal case.
Yes.
Do they further indicate that that was done because officers had been communicating and therefore making statements about an official investigation on their personal smartphones?
Yes, sir.
In other words, the department was bringing to its employees' attention, specifically directed to members involved in criminal investigations and prosecutions, the discoverability of statements by law enforcement in the form of communications on personal and electronic devices.
Correct.
If you could now refer, sir, to exhibits 24 and 26, 24 through 26, 24, 25, 26.
Okay, guys. Let me see how long. Okay, they're going to take a break in a minute. We're going to stop it pretty much here. For those of you who don't know, my son and I used to have an office space. He had a business, and all of this that you see here was in that space, and we are in the process. I've moved the studio, but we are in the process of moving out of that space, and we have to be out by this weekend. So today was going to be a short day. So what I will do is later on tonight, well, probably tomorrow, I will come on for a few hours tomorrow morning to finish this. And then we'll go into day 2. But I am going to have to be done pretty much by noon every day. I have got 3 days to clear out 2,000 square foot office building. So I know we have a lot of new people here, and I'm so grateful to have you. I really am. But right now we are in a very awkward time of my channel. We were in that office space for over 5 years, and so due to the rent and everything in the business, we're just getting out. But I have to go do manual labor. Hard work. That's right, guys. It's going to be very hard work.
Ball and chain.
Yeah, it is. It's not fun, but I will tell you guys that we are going to continue this series because there's no major trials right now. So please click that like button, click the bell so you know we are going to go live. What do you mean? Hold on. Meaning I'm going to set up later this afternoon the next live and in YouTube. And if you click the bell, it will let you know that I've set up a live and when I'm going to be on again. It's really, really wonderful. Yeah, it's really hard moving out of an office space when you've been there for a long time. You've accumulated a lot of crap. Unfortunately, I don't have the space, so we're having to really finagle things. We got a storage unit. For those of you who don't know, I live in Kerrville, Texas, and where those floods happened. And because of the flood, whoa, that's loud, Diane. I'm going to mute you. Because of the flood, we have very limited, if no, storage units to rent. So we're in a predicament. Yes, Kristen, I looked at that trial. I haven't talked to my mods yet, but I'm going to make an executive decision depending how it falls. Yes, we're going to cover that trial. I'm very careful about what trials I cover when it comes to unaliving children. I'm very selective, but I've been looking at that. Welcome aboard. Manual labor. I will be moving, packing boxes, loading them up in vehicles and driving them and putting them in my home or storage. And yeah. Did he get arrested? No, he didn't get arrested, did he? Um, I don't think he's been arrested yet. Ah, that may be. I don't think that's going to be an issue. The religious issue. I'm typing. Um, I don't think he's been arrested yet. I know, no, he has not been arrested yet. Um, I think the accessory after the fact may be a possibility, but as far as anything more than that, I don't think they can get him on unless they've got hardcore proof that before the red room he was knowledgeable or participant. So we'll see. I don't know. I would think Wendy Hadelson has more of a chance than he does, in all honesty. But we'll see. Welcome aboard, Ayla. If I said it right, I'm not good at pronouncing names. But the religious issues in this case or mental illness can be raised, but I think the mental illness would probably have a better shot at it of assisting her in this case than the Amish religious beliefs because they don't believe in unaliving. Now, if she said Satan told her to do it and she's schizophrenic, then she might be able to get off by the reason of insanity, but they would have to prove that she had a long time. She would have to prove before that she had the condition prior to the event. So everybody, thank you so much for joining in. Diane, I'm going to say farewell to you. You are amazing as always. Love you dearly. Your volume is on.
Bye. I'm waving. I'm waving goodbye.
Do that because in sign language, when you say wave goodbye, they think that means wave goodbye.
Wave. Let's go to Hawaii.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That
So
would be
anyway,
nice.
Diane, we will
All
hopefully see
right.
you tomorrow. We'll see how life
You,
goes.
you still need to send me information,
I forgot what information.
class.
Oh, yeah, I'll send it tonight. My bad.
Yes, yes, that would be lovely.
Love you, darling.
Bye. Bye, everybody. See you
Bye.
tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Just wondered if in my humble opinion, Harvey Adelson will be the hardest to prosecute, and I agree with that. The reason is because in trial they did state that Harvey Adelson, both the children and texts and emails back and forth between the children and the mother, said that dad doesn't know about this. We can't let him know about this. So they indicated that he didn't know up to a certain point. I don't know for sure how far that's going to go. So we will go there with that. Okay, Swan, just put everything you find in our Discord under case you send it to June, she'll put it in the right place. They would have more on Wendy than Harvey. Okay, guys, what letters, Renee? Don't what you mean. Oh, the question. If you have a question you want me to answer, put the question marks in front of the question. So when I'm seeing the chat fly by, I see a question, I'll grab it and answer the question. So, when Kristen, with this one here, if she would have question, I wonder, if chat was flying faster, I may miss it. But if you put question, we'll grab it. They underestimate he probably, but it's not what they have to be able to prove it. And that's the issue. Do I believe he potentially could have known a lot more? Definitely. But they have to be able to prove it in a court of law and beyond a reasonable doubt. So I think that's where Wendy and him come into play. All right. We are going to go over, and at the end of every live, I'm going to pop these up. Give me a split second. I don't know why it did that. If you have shared the live today, click the I share right now. Type I shared in all caps. If you are new and you have subbed today, comment right now. I subbed, just like that. And if you have liked the stream today, comment I liked. What happens? I draw names, and those names at the end of the month go in a giveaway for free merch. I'll give you a minute because then I got to hop off and go get to work. I do not want to go do this, but I got to do that. I have no idea where that came from, Boo. Oh, is that still up there? No. Let me go look. That shouldn't be there at all. Do you know what? That's not supposed to be there. I got you now. It's gone. That was a test live. I was teaching somebody on how to. You got to do it in all caps, Elizabeth. Do it like Sarah did. And Kristen, do I liked all one word and I sub all one word. Do the I sub like this so I can get you in. And the all like that. You do it right now. That has been known to happen, but if Monkey gets a hold of keyboards, all the buttons are off, chewed up, and destroyed. Thank you so much for subscribing, Boo. Thank you. So I'll give you a minute, Elizabeth, because I know there's a delay. Put the I liked and the I subbed just like that, and it'll catch you. Yes, click that bell, ring the Christmas. No, sorry. Christmas is coming too soon, y'all. You know, they had Christmas decorations out in the 1st of July here at Hobby Lobby. Oh, thank you. Yes, I do. I need to pay more attention to them. I'm going to get rid of the makeup one, but I do need to pay attention to the Gel Widow. Okay, I have got to go, so I'm going to go ahead and do the I shared. Here we go. Congratulations. Yay, Erin. I do extra because we have a lot of you today. And one more. I do 1 for 5. Woo-hoo. Congratulations, y'all. Okay, guys. So We will come back. I'm going to save this live. We'll come back right in this spot tomorrow at some point. I got to figure out. It may be later in the afternoon when we take a break. I may work early in the morning, may come on like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I don't know. I just depends on how far I get today. I've got a lot going on. But thank you guys so much for joining. Angela, you did fabulous. Congratulations. You did it. You did it. You did great. Everybody, it is not easy doing what we do, and I'm so grateful for you. So thank you. I don't know what happened to my applause button. I had an applause. Oh, there it is. You did fabulous, love. Everybody, thank you for joining me today. For all the new people, we do have a Discord. We will hopefully see you over there. Please come back and join us again. We are usually on every day. This week is a little unusual because we're moving. But other than that, starting Monday of next week, we will be every single day as usual. So thank you so much. And also, if you go into Discord, we do have a movie night. We love putting movies on. It's usually 3 or 4 times a week. We'll have a movie. You want to come in and hop and visit with us and chat and get to know us and enjoy a movie? Come on over. We'd love to have you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Y'all have a fabulous night, afternoon. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.